Alright. There you go. This is the YouTube intro as well then. Alright, a week later, we're here. 4 weeks in a row so far. Still going strong. No skips. Yeah. We got the people who write things, or maybe not, depending on who they are in this list. Probably more so in lore, and some are just technicalities. But writers. Oh yes, it's writers. A very cool class. Tends to have pretty good numbers across the board and whatnot, which is very pog. As you can see, not quite as many as the previous three. Very close though, so I expect again this list to be at least 3.5 hours if I had to guess. Something like that. Just a bit shorter than the previous three, although of course it depends on how long I talk about per servant, so even if there's less servants, it might still be similar in length anyway. Also, big shout out to everyone watching the previous one, the Lancer one as well. So far, in case you were wondering, it was received the best so far, which I think is very cool. It actually had a very good reception, so thank you for all the nice comments, all the likes and whatnot. So very, very helpful and keeps me motivated and whatnot, because again, I do plan on kind of doing these every year as I have so far. So in case you want to keep seeing these lists in future years to come as well, then you know, it's a very easy thing. Just press the like button and whatnot. Goes a long way, you'd be surprised. So, again, I still have to do the usual disclaimers though, but you know, feel free to skip around if you want. But obviously I have to do them in case someone only watches one of these and doesn't watch all of them, so I have to do them in all of these. But I'm gonna try and be fast here. So, disclaimers. I am not an expert by any means. I have just played the game on 2 versions for many, many years now, pretty much. And I have experience with most servants in the game. Not every single JP servant, which you'll see later as well. I don't have every single servant, so... But I have tried them out pretty much. And of course, I tried to do research as much as I can prior to these lists. And as you can see, every servant is in this as of February 25, 2022. Also, we're gonna take into account every single buff that's ever been released so far as well for the same date. Now, the main placement criteria is based on what I think the servant does the best and how well they do it. If someone is a farmer, how well do they farm? If someone is good on single target, how well do they slap bosses, etc. Supporting, you name it, right? So again, but of course, if someone excels in more than one role, hey, that's great. You're probably gonna get bonus points. Someone is good at supporting and or damage dealing for some reason, then yeah, that's cool. You get bonus points. Now, this is a thing, again, people have already skipped past this anyway, and there's gonna be some people always talking about this, which is unfortunate, but different rarities are not being compared here. I really want to emphasize that, because pretty much the only comments that I kind of found weird was like people saying like, oh, this servant is better than insert this higher rarity servant because they're placed higher or the same tier. No, these are in their own respective rarities. Obviously, in some cases, a lower rarity one can be better though, and that's great. They're gonna get a lot more bonus points for that. But again, don't think that, let's say I'm gonna place a 3-star on A and a 5-star on A. Do you really think I think the 3-star is potentially a lot better or the same as the 5-star if it's a similar role? Probably not. Like, just use your brain for once. But yeah, those were like the only comments that people never listen to the disclaimers. People are just like, oh, he plays this here, and they're different rarities. He's an idiot, because this one is clearly better. Also, Daryl, can you handle the music? Okay, this is not on YouTube video. It's a bit loud right now for the stream, but yeah, can you handle the volume? It is a bit loud. Now, more disclaimers. Obviously, gameplay tier lists, not favorites. So again, I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I can. And everyone will be getting comparisons mostly in their rarities. So again, if the 2 different single target 4-star riders will definitely be compared as an example. And MP1 is assumed across the board for non-welfare goals. There will be one very special case, which I'll talk about when we get there. You'll probably already know who I'm talking about here, but yeah, that's pretty much the assumption otherwise. Order for the placement is pretty simple. It's very visible. We go from the lowest rarity to the highest rarity, and within said rarities, it's also in the order of release date. At least should be, or close to that. Also at this point I should say shout out to Reines for making this list. Very cool, helps out a lot. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, which I think a lot of people will be, I will make, again, timestamps. So, you know, feel free to use those. They will be in the description. And if you mouse over the progress bar, I think it lists them as well. Very cool. Useful features, so feel free to use those. Again, I don't expect most people not to watch this full thing. But again, there's always a lot of people saying it, which is very cool, that a lot of people watch these entire things. Even if they don't necessarily watch the screens, a lot of people apparently treat these as like podcasts, which I think is awesome. Can't say I'm that entertaining myself, or, you know, maybe not the most insightful person ever, but, you know, I definitely take those as compliments, if anything. So shout out to everyone, especially on stream as well, watching this right now. Everyone who watches these full things, you are the best. And I don't hate anyone who skips around either. That's completely fine. So is that it? Oh yeah, obviously, once everyone has been placed, there will be a final, like, potentially adjusting some of the placement. So, you know, before you make an angry comment, just make sure you check the very end, because some placements might change. Most of them will not, but some might change at the very end. And there you go. I think that should be it for disclaimers. I will have to say those every time, but yeah. Cool. Right, I think we can start then. Just straight off get into it. There's only one-star rider. And that man is Bartholomew Roberts. Mr. Bang Fetish, whatever you want to call him. Now, even if he's only the only one star here, I will still do the usual stuff here. I will pull up my stats and whatnot. So, for his attack... Oh yeah, I should mention, he's a AoE quick DPS / utility supporting rider. I don't really know what to call him, honestly. He's an interesting case, I suppose. Now, his attack is just below average for a 1-star, but with these numbers, it really does not make a big deal, honestly. Now, what his deck looks like: double quick, double arts. Pretty standard, I guess, for a rider. Although a lot of them are double buster, double arts, but it makes sense for him to have double quick since his MP is also quick. Gains are not great. Can't really expect miracles from a bronze servant anyway. And the star generation actually is not terrible. That one, at least, is not terrible. So there's something. Now, let's take a look at his kit. Good old Voyager of the Storm. Sad to see it on such a new servant. Relatively new servant. Compared to most bronze servants in the game. Also, yeah, what the hell am I listening to? Can you handle this shit, Daryl? Okay, whatever. I can't even focus with this music playing in the background. Again, this will make no sense on YouTube because you guys will not even hear what I'm hearing right now. But okay. Yeah, not a great skill, needless to say. Never has been, really. Just too basic, big up or up down time. It's just weak. The numbers, the only good thing about it is its mixed buffs. Like, these will multiply, right? Two different kinds of attack buffs. That's the only good thing. Besides that, not good. Second skill, this is cool, I guess, for the supporting side. He will reduce his own absorb by a flat 100% for 3 turns on a 6-turn cooldown. Now, it's still annoying because his absorb will still not be abysmal or anything because he is a rider, right? But the other effect is actually good synergy as well. So the party gets crit damage for 3 turns. That's 40% extra, especially for a bronze servant. That's pretty okay, actually. So it's not a bad skill, but you might need a little bit more help to get stars on others besides this, right? It's alright. Then the third skill, actually fairly good. Like, surprisingly damn good. So, 3-turn, sadly only self-quick, but still. Quick up 20%, 3 turns. Now, all enemies, crit chance down. 20% for 3 turns. I always like crit chance down, and I should have probably noted, I'm probably not going to place him as a farmer here. So, yeah, what happened with it? What is going on with the song requests? Okay, it just had a fucking silent... I don't know. I'm just not gonna... Okay, you guys, I'm not gonna comment about the music at all anymore. I hope the mods can handle it and whatnot. So if there's problems, I'm not gonna comment about it anymore. It is what it is, okay? Whatever. Alright. And then a 20 star bomb. Actually solid for a skill. Solid. But man, I just don't understand why this is self only though, right? It's kind of weird. Because he kind of wants to be a support, but then he's like, you know what, I'll just give myself the quick buff only. It's a good skill still, but it's just like, it would make so much more sense if this was AoE. Riding D is nice. I wish the rank was a bit higher though. Magic Resi, again, is okay, but I wish the rank was a lot higher than that. Berserker bonus is nice. And then the MP, which is a very, very special case. So first of all, the damage, as a 1-star, it's not great. But at least he has some buffs to help with that. Defense down 20% 3 turns is a nice effect. Sadly after damage, but it's actually a pretty good effect though, regardless. And then his extra damage modifier is against bronze enemies. Okay, so keep in mind, it's not servants actually. A lot of people think it's only servants. So it's actually not that bad. Because even in a lot of event farming, you still fight a lot of bronze enemies. But more often than not, there's also a lot of gold, so this does not apply. It's interesting. So again, it's for challenge quests, you can immediately forget about it. Most challenge quests will not be bronze. Some are actually, and some have bronze mobs in there, or like a mix. But most, it will never really work. And if anything, it's kind of used just to, you know, enable someone else to do more damage with the defense down. I'm having a hard time with Bart. I don't know, man. He's weird. He's not terrible, but like he wants to be many different things, but is not really great in anything. He's okay in many things, but I'm almost thinking like a C+. For a 1-star, he's still definitely feasible. Not bad. Can do some work. So about an average 1-star servant, if so. Because I wish they gave him more direction, you know? He's okay in some things, but he's not good in any things. So, Bart. The only 1-star rider in the game so far. Speaking of 1-stars, we move on to 2-stars. Day 1, here we go. We go back there. It's ya boy, George. Saint George. Single target, arts, DPS, but definitely more so of a tank than DPS. But I guess his MP does do damage, so it's worth mentioning. Now, again, let me grab my numbers. Attack is definitely lower for a on average on a 2-star, but again, it's good. Here it's good because you want him to have more HP rather than attack as a tank, because it just makes way more sense that way. Now, deck, double quick, double arts, just like your boy just now. Can do a full arch chain, but you know what? His damage still isn't that great. He doesn't really have any damage buffs, so don't really expect him to be a damage dealer, but he can do an arch chain, I suppose. His gains, not good, just flat out pretty weak. Also for star gen, weak. So, but you know what? For a tank, do you really need crazy shit like this anyway? Maybe not so much. Now, ooh, that's a great skill. 3-turn taunt for self with a up to 40% self defense up for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. Still to this day, one of the best taunts in the game. Like, no joke. This is a really solid skill. It just does what it needs to do. It's great. That 40% defense up can actually make a big difference. So, yeah, that's a great skill. Definitely the highlight of his kit. Second skill. Sadly, only mental debuff resistance. So it's not like who we saw in Saberless, Daeon, who has like just debuff resistance flat, but he only has it for mental. It does go up to 100% if you rank it up, but I would have preferred just flat out debuff res. And then a up to 2k heal for self. It's okay, because, you know, heal has a bit more value here, because he's going to be soaking hits anyway. But on a 5-turn cooldown, it's definitely weak. But you know what? At least it's still a defensive skill. So you'd still probably rather have a defensive skill than an offensive skill, and someone who's just there to soak damage. And sadly, his guts has not been touched yet. There's still so many of these vanilla guts in the game. They have been slowly buffing them, but yeah, George still has an old one. It's the classic 1-time 5-turn 7-turn cooldown with, you know, an okay amount of HP. But because it's the only effect, definitely on the weak side of things in this day and age. But hey, synergy between the kid is nice. Like that. Magic Rosé is great. Always a permanent 20% debuff resistance is very nice to have on him. Again, I have to mention this because a lot of people don't even know about it or forgot about it, but if you have a taunt, single target skills from enemies will also be applied to the taunt. So again, having something like debuff resistance is even more valuable in someone who has a taunt. So yeah, it's nice. Riding Bee won't really do much with two hitter quicks, so Berserker bonus again, sure. It's nice to have. Probably in his case won't be doing that much though. And then the MP. We got the good old meme. Before damage, enemy becomes a dragon. For 3 turns. For himself, doesn't really do anything. For some others, it could. Definitely. I always find it weird that he doesn't really do anything for himself. But if anything, the OC is the better part if you're not doing dragon memes. Self defense up 1 turn, base 20%. So again, especially if you still have that taunt up, you can have up to 60% defense up for this turn, which again just makes him all that much tankier. And in this case, the bond CE is actually worth mentioning as well. It's a very usable one. So when he perishes, probably will at some point because that's kind of his job, the remainder of your squad, hopefully, gets invul for 1 attack, no like duration, which I like, and then also a pretty solid 1k damage cut for 3 turns. Not even like 3 hits 3 turns, just flat out 3 turns. So that's some good pro tech. Like even after he's gone, he's like, okay, have some more, have some more. It's actually a great bond CE. Very even without, like, a lot of people obviously mostly use this as a level 1 like a solo taunt meme, but you can absolutely use this on a max level George too. Absolutely, it's good for both in my opinion. So there you go. George, I still think his biggest flaw though, well, is not his basic kit here and there, it's the 2-star stats. So much like Leonidas, his potential could be better, but I don't know. Let's see. He's still a solid tank. What do you guys think? You guys think he's A+? He might be, honestly, because I like him for the solo memes and for the tank memes as well. I can't place him in EX though, because he's not like his stats will hold him back from that. He cannot be an amazing tank with 2-star stats. He's still a great tank, but not like an exceptional one. Okay, you guys might disagree with this because most people spam A+. I think I'll leave him at A. I'll just leave him at A because I still want to see some buffs on him. This could use a buff because they buff guts. This could use a buff because it's pretty weak, and the MP is still... It's alright, but again, nothing crazy. This is the only really good part about his kit. So I'll actually leave him at A. So I'll actually, disagree a bit with the majority of chat right now. But you know what? If someone wants to place him at A+, I'm not going to be mad. But A is still very solid. Now, and the only other 2-star rider. Maybe not as big in Spotlight. Definitely big in the story sections though, but in gameplay-wise, kind of falls flat, doesn't he? Blackbeard. AoE Buster, like DPS. I don't... What am I going to rate him as? He's not really a farmer, is he? No. And he's AoE, so I guess he's... I don't know. He's so awkward. Anyway, his attack for a 2-star is actually just higher than average, which is cool because I guess in this case the attack is nicer to have than the HP, I suppose, because he's definitely not tanking anything. Can do a full Buster Brave Chin with the double Buster double Arch Stick, which is okay. A bit more damage. Gains are definitely not good though. Definitely not. Not atrocious, but still pretty weak. And Stargen also very weak. Also has Voyager of the Storm, because we'll be seeing a lot of pirates today, huh? Yeah. We'll be seeing this many times. Still weak. It's the same thing as Bart. It's just weak. In this day and age, weak. It's just a bit more damage for that 1 turn with a big downtime. Now, this skill actually isn't bad at all. It's actually fine. So, already a 3-turn self-attack buff on a 5-turn cooldown with decent numbers, almost getting close to 30, is not bad, but then he has a permanent guts. well, I shouldn't say permanent because that might be misleading, but it never expires, so you can easily pop this turn 1, and that means it's not awkward at all, because sometimes defensive skills with offensive stuff mixed into them are awkward with the timing. This one is not. You can pop this turn 1. It's gonna be there until it procs or gets removed or whatever, so it's always nice to have that really flexible guts. It is a 1 HP guts, but I'd rather trade the HP to have a guts like this instead, honestly, pretty much. And the demerit, it's a bit annoying. 50% debuff is down for self for 3 turns, but it's not the worst. It's a slight annoyance, but nothing really like detrimental. So honestly, especially for 2-star, a day 1 2-star that, this is actually a good skill. Then the good old stand skill, right? So party up to 2k heal, and if you field him with females or feminine looking trait servants, they get another up to 2k heal, so for them up to 4k heal on a 6-turn cooldown though. Why? That is so bad. That's so bad. It's just terrible. I like the concept behind it though, because it fits his character perfectly, but man, this skill sucks. They need to buff. He needs to be like the Merlin for females, like give them amazing fucking buffs or something. Just the up to 4k heal on a 6-turn cooldown. What is this? It's so bad, dude. But you know, it's a cute skill. Magic Resi, well, it's something. God damn, it's weak though. The MP luckily has been buffed, so it does a bit more damage, and they also did up the normal effect from 5 stars to 10 stars. And man, I don't like the OC though. The potential is good though, because it's a potentially a AoE, you know, MP gauge down, but it starts, even with the buffed version, it starts at 40% chance on base OC with 100%. I don't like that. For a 2-star, it's still an okay MP for sure, but yeah, like nah. Like, does anyone in the game use Blackbeard? He should be single target, right? I just don't really get this. I don't get him. I really don't, because I don't think I would even call him a farmer. I don't know, man. I think I might even place him lower than Bart, honestly, like somewhere here. One of the Ds, probably. He might be one of the, like, just flat out a contender for the worst rider in the game. Because he, like, okay, even if he might not be the worst thing ever, remember, competition. And a lot of his competition is also free, so that really does actually, you know, hurt him quite a bit. I can't put him in E, because I actually think he has some stuff going for him, but maybe here because of the permanent guts and the MP buff, being able to do a bit more damage. But that's it. I can't even go C with him, honestly. I can't even place him in C. I just can't do it. We'll put him there, okay? We'll put him there. Alright, that's it for the bronze. Fast as usual. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. We're gonna start with the 3 stars, and it's another day one servant. Of course, it's Medusa, a very popular waifu servant, needless to say. AoE quick again. I can't say farmer in this case, right? I have to say DPS. She's not a farmer, right? Not really, no. But let's see, numbers wise, how does she fare? She has a higher than average attack, which is great. Not a whole lot, but it's definitely higher. Double quick, double arch deck. I think it's fine, honestly, for her. Yeah, it's fine. Gains, not that great. Even with one of the skills active, they're still not really that great, sadly. Star Gen, well, obviously, if you land that quick chain with the MP, then you can get some stars kind of brute forcing it. But besides that, nothing like crazy good. But it's okay, I guess. So, yeah. Now, skills. Good old Mystic Eyes. At least it scales to 100%. But that's it. It's just a single target stun. It's not really a stun, actually. This is an interesting case, because a lot of people don't know this. It's actually classified as a petrify. It has the same icon and everything, and basically works exactly the same way. But yeah, as this implies, if you have stuff like stun resistance or this stuff, it doesn't matter for this. But it's basically the same thing as a stun. So up to 100% chance on base with a 6-turn cooldown. It's just average, I would say. It's okay, but obviously nothing crazy good. Just pretty weak. Basic. It's okay. Thank God it goes to 100%. Because we'll be seeing some stuff later that doesn't. Oh boy, even after a buff. Oh boy. Alright, just a simple monster strength. Self-attack up 2 turns, 30% 5-turn cooldown. Is weak. Even on 3 turns, if it was the only effect, it would be okay. So it would be similar to Blackbeard's. Very similar, but this wouldn't have the guts or anything like that. It's just weak. Damn. Then the third skill. Self-battery, 20% flat regardless of the rank, and then own MP generation 3 turns by up to 30%, all on a 6-turn cooldown. I mean, it helps, but I think she needs more. She just needs more. Yeah. It's a unique skill too. I was hoping to get more. It does, yeah, I suppose it's worth mentioning that with a normal K-scope, be it HP or DPS K-scope, non-MLB, it works with that. But to be honest, you could probably get the append easily as well anyway. So it's not like 20% batteries are, you know, that amazing anymore because of, you know, everyone having access to appends anyway. For the up to 20% starting gauge. Now the passives though, that's some cool stuff. Magic Riz B ain't bad, because again, I don't really want to rate her as a farmer, rather against bosses here. Independent action C, you know, nice to have bonus crit damage, right? Especially in a Rider, because the Rider has the best natural absorb in the game. Very solid. Riding A+, great, just flat out great. Her quicks are not that good, but she has 2 of them, and obviously her MP is quick as well, albeit just 1 hit, but you know, it's basically a damage buff. Not so much for the gains for star or MP, but still, it's basically a nice damage buff. Divinity E-, you know, I think, yeah, it's, does anyone else even have Divinity E- in this game? No, funny. As I thought. Saber bonus doesn't matter. MP has been buffed, and they actually did bring not only a high, they also buffed the OC, but also introduced a new normal effect, which again works great for bosses. So another AOE 20% crit chance down, 3 turns. I always like this effect, so it's good to have for bosses. Damage also not bad, not too bad. It's actually pretty okay among 3 stars. And party star generation for 3 turns on 50% base, also not bad. Herself, it might not help that much with her hit counts, but you know, someone else it might help even better. So how about that? Although if you do this with the full quick chain, then you know this might be a bit more helpful. Again, I just feel like she's a bit more tragic on the tragic side though. Imagine if she was single target instead. That would already help a lot, but she's not. And even then, she would still probably be weaker that, you know, someone we're gonna see very soon. Ugh. B? B or C+? Good damage, right? Good damage. Should be single target though. Should definitely be single target. Or, you know, make her farming better. Which is hard to do at this point, let's be real. So, you know what? She's fine for both some, you know, traditional farming and some boss DPS, but besides that, doesn't really do a whole lot else. Yeah, that's cool, literally. Right, next 3-star. It's Boudica, a servant who has certainly seen a lot of upgrades at this point. Also, let me read a few resubs here. Tricky, thanks for the 4 months. Clockwork, thank you for the 18, and Hitchy with the brand new sub as well. Welcome back to the Gal Gang, my dudes. So, yeah, Boudica used to be one of the worst servants in the game. I'm not saying she's amazing right now either, but definitely a lot better than she was like day 1. So, what is she? She's a support. She's not even a tank, to be honest. She's just like a support. She's an arts rider support. Yeah. Double arts, double quick deck. Makes sense, I suppose. I don't think they were going to give her a triple arts, so that's fine. Attack on the low side, but again, she's not a DPS anyway, so I actually like that she has 10k HP on a 3-star. Is actually not bad at all. Pretty good. Gains, they suck. Let's be real, they're not good. For both MP and star gen. It's just not worth mentioning. This used to be arguably the worst skill in the entire game. Only her own damage against Roman enemies. Which, like, she's not a DPS. Nor was Roman enemies common. But luckily it was buffed. I mean, they still kept the Roman thing, right? But at least now it's party-wide. And it has a useful effect for everything. Which is party crit damage. 50% for 3 turns. Definitely not bad skill now for a 3-star. Now, I should mention that this one isn't as useless as it might seem, because you have the option of kind of running her with, you know, Mr. 5-star Roma himself to get actually some value out of this. So that's something to think about. Outside of that, this effect is borderline useless, but it's a cute synergy, so not bad. But at least there's this on a pretty good uptime, so it's still an okay skill for sure because of this. Good buff. She used to have a basic guts, but at least hers was buffed, which is good. So they brought the cooldown down already, which is good. So now it's a 5-turn guts and a 6-turn cooldown. That's great. And now it's also targeted and also gives the target up to 2k max HP for 5 turns. This is actually a great skill now, I would say. It's actually fairly solid. It's pretty damn solid. I like it. I like the flexibility of it being targeted as well. Very cool. One of the better gut skills. On a 3-star, nonetheless. And then the third skill. This was never bad, to be honest. This used to be like the only good part of her kit before they even buffed the MP or gave her any other buffs. So, party arts up 3 turns, 20% 5-turn cooldown. Basic, but it's okay. It's never this something like this is never bad though. Obviously, it's a bit basic right now, but still, I would say also an okay skill. So her skills are like alright, and actually pretty good. So how about that? She has definitely seen some upgrades. Magic Gris D, I wish was a bit higher because obviously you won't bring her for farm. Writing A, you know, damage. Doesn't really matter. Saber bonus doesn't really matter. I guess so in some cases it can matter. But it's only her own damage, because you could actually bring her as a support against sabers, I suppose, but yeah, she won't be doing damage. Then the MP has been buffed as well. So, party defense up 20% for 3 turns. Not too bad, honestly, it's alright. Then the OC effects. So, for 1 turn, you get another base 20% up for defense. So, for the turn you use this on, your party has at least 40% defense up. That's already very solid. And then attack buff for party for 3 turns, 20% on base. Also not bad. Still kind of basic, but it's not terrible. Now, again, she herself might not look that bad anymore, but, you know, we should talk about the elephant in the room, right? Yeah, I was about to say that, Char. She's a Mashu that has a party cost, right? Like, the worst, it's so sad for Boudica. When the one that absolutely shits on her is a unit everyone has that they cannot even remove. Even on Orthodox, I think Mashu has more use than Boudica does, even after all these buffs. So, yeah, she's not bad though. Like, I guess you could bring both Mashu and Boudica if you wanted to. Maybe not the best combo, but you could. But yeah, again, competition really kind of pushes her down, if anything. Yeah. I feel like Boudica should also have a taunt. I feel like she should have a taunt as well. Oh well. Also, if you bring her as a generic support, you gotta keep in mind she has the same problem that Reines has, that she's a rider where, you know, she's gonna be stealing a lot of stars if those are a big thing in your comp. So that's something to keep in mind of. You don't want her to get the stars. I would probably agree to placing her in B as well, honestly. Like, after all those buffs, her kit is actually, especially for a 3-star, it's solid. But the reason she's not higher than that, despite the kit actually being somewhat okay, is because, again, would you ever bring her, like, over Mashu or something? Would you bring both? Probably not. It's just, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, if anything. But yeah, not bad. Boudica. A nice Nesan, needless to say. B for Boudica. B for Booba. Another unit that has seen a lot of buffs. Who was never honestly terrible, but yeah, quite a bit better now than what she used to be. Ushi, the OG. Single target quick DPS. Attack is more or less average for a 3-star, but not terrible by any means. Double arts, double quick deck is alright, I suppose. Maybe double bust or double quick would have been better, honestly. Especially after the buffs, but you know, it is what it is. They're obviously not going to change the deck. Gains are not great. They're not terrible, but not great either. Around average at best for both MP and Star Generation, even though she actually has quite a bit of Star Generation as a buff in her kit. Even with uptime on that, it's still not amazing by any means. Now skills, we're just going to jump straight into the upgrade version. So the first skill, AoE, MP gain, party, 3 turns, 20%. Also self-quick up, 3 turns, 20%, all on a 5-turn cooldown. Solid. Especially for a 3-star, just solid. Even on like a higher rarity, this would not be a terrible skill. It's okay. Obviously, I would prefer it was if the MP game was self-only and higher, but you know, it can actually sometimes your supports kind of want that too. So there you go. Second skill used to be a very you know, boring charisma, but now way less boring. Oh my. 20% party attack up 3 turns. Self-crit damage up 3 turns, 50%, and a 20-star bomb. All on a 5-turn cooldown. This is a great skill now. It is very nice. And again, you're going to hear me say this again, especially for a 3-star. It's a very great skill. This is by far her best buff. I believe this was in the Little Big Tengu event that I think also gave her the animation update, right? Very cool stuff. So yeah, it's the Tyra event, yes. And then the third skill doesn't really need a buff, I guess. It's just her defensive option. It's the basic 1-turn evasion on a 6-turn cooldown, and she has a special one, which means it's not crit damage or defense up, rather than Star Generation for 1 turn. I wish this was like 50% for 3 turns instead of 100% for 1 turn, because it does, because you know, chances are you might not get the most use out of this, because you definitely don't want to use this for the Star Gen. Don't worry, but don't do that. Just use it for the evasion and hope you get a good turn to go with the Star Gen as well. So yeah. Hey Luck, thanks for the brand new Prime, man. Welcome to the Gal Gang. Honestly, overall the kit is just very solid nowadays. Just very solid. Magic C could be higher, but not terrible. Riding A+, mostly for damage again. Doesn't help the gains too much, but it's very nice to have. Lancer bonus doesn't matter, and the MP has been buffed, but man, the buff sucks. It's one of those really early buffs. I hate it. It's so annoying. I feel so bad for some of the early servants. If this buff was done nowadays, it would never be just this. It would never be just this. It would be at least buffing the OC, or probably also adding another new normal effect too. It's just, man. Obviously, it's still great for damage. Everyone knows that Ushi, among 3-stars, has one of the highest hitting MPs in the entire game. That's certainly a fact. But man, just the damage buff? Come on, man. And it's a one-hitter, which is also a yikes. It would be so cool if it was a multi-hitter to go with those Star Generations. Obviously, the Star Gen is also after damage, though. Not a bad OC. It's alright. With her numbers, it's just okay. Now, with Ushi, I think the biggest problem is her card type. I'm going to be saying that in some of these other ones as well. Quick is certainly, this day and age, the weakest card type for a DPS by far. Not even close. But she's still, among 3-stars, definitely a very solid, after all these buffs. Just a very solid option. Now, some people were screaming EX. I cannot place her at EX. It's one of the A's for sure among 3-stars, but I cannot place her at EX. If she was arts, easiest EX of my life. Or if someone, like if the MP buff was better or something. But as is, I can't really do it. But I can probably agree to an A+, honestly. In this case, I can probably agree to it. In George's case, I kind of like keeping him in A. But in this case, yeah, after all those buffs, she's a very, you know, top contender for a 3-star. So there you go. Ushi. Solid. Alright, next one. Alexander. Day 1 as well, right? Yes, okay. So, AoE, quick, I guess DPS, again, definitely not a farmer, right? Not with these hit counts. Yeah, yikes, it's the Medusa factor all over again. But, you know, DPS slash some team utility as well. Attack, pretty okay for a 3-star, definitely higher than average. Double quick, double arts. Yeah, sure. That's a fine deck. Gains also same as most of these other ones. They tend to they had a lot of homogenized decks back then. There was not a whole lot of variety between the numbers of the hit counts and the gains and whatnot. So again, not great by any means. Stargen also not really great. It's weaker than Ushi's for sure, despite having similar numbers, just because Ushi has a better kit for that stuff. Sadly not a buffed charisma though for the first skill. It's very average at best. Probably weaker than average. Charismas, they just don't really do it anymore. Like you saw Ushi's one nowadays. Like that we should be seeing more stuff like that, not stuff like this anymore. Just no. Yeah, probably does, Jerd. Which is, you know, I think my comments were pretty much the same.
Put Astolfo in X my Fugan or I will be angry XD.
Fuck, I forgot about that. Alright, give me a second. I need to disable that too. But you know what? You got that one in and fair enough. Totally forgot to. I always forget something. Okay, let's see. Well, if that was the one, then worth, I guess. Slipped in. Now, this used to be bad. Humanoid target is nice though, because it makes it way more flexible. But now, less bad, because it scales up to 100% charm and comes with a buff strip. So, it is a 7-turn cooldown, which is very hefty, but both of the effects are actually pretty strong. So, not too bad for a charm. It's above average for a charm for sure. So, yeah, not bad. Not great, but not bad. And then the third skill, which is kind of cool. Party quick up 3 turns, 20% 5-turn cooldown. So it's basically the exact same thing that Boudica has, except this is for quick. So it's okay. It's okay. It's alright. Magic Res D could be higher. Riding A+ is nice for damage. Again, mostly not for gains, but for damage in his case. More tickling from the divinity. Berserker bonus actually can be good, because, you know, I still feel like he's more of a DPS than a support, so yeah. MP has been buffed, so it actually deals very solid damage now. And unlike Ushi, at least he got something else. It's still a pretty weak buff in my opinion, because they also buffed the OC, but yeah. Solid damage on MP5 obviously, and then 15-star bomb on base is alright as well. Now, I guess we should make the comparison to Medusa first and foremost. Because I wouldn't really call neither of them like great farmers or anything. Definitely more DPSs. And I think both of them would fare better if they had single target MPs. So, which one would I prefer? Alexander or Medusa? It's a very small difference, if at all. I think they're mostly interchangeable. I would maybe place Alex slightly higher or just the same tier, honestly. I think I might place them the same. I think I might. Yeah. I don't think the difference is enough to really, like, say one is just a bit better than the other. They're just very similar, honestly. Yeah. Even if Alex has some support capability as well. I don't know, man. Is he a bit better? Ooh. Maybe just ever so slightly better just because he has a bit more utility, but besides that, I don't know. I don't know if no, I can't do that. I can't put him in B+. Not with the way he is right now. He needs more stuff still. Buff that charisma and then we're talking. Buff that, give him an Ushi charisma. Fuck yeah, then we're talking, okay? There you go. Same. And we have not a day 1 3-star. Mr. Smiley. Sponsored by Colgate, Pepsodent, whatever you have for the brands. Columbus. AoE, Buster, DPS. And I guess maybe a bit more of a farmer in this case than, let's say, Medusa and Alexander. Still not a great farmer, but a more of a farmer. But I still feel like he's better as a DPS than a farmer. Now, obviously, his attack, compared to the other ones, is definitely on the lower side, which is a shame, but it's not atrocious or anything. Double arts, double buster, I think works really well with him. I'm glad it's not double quick. Makes way more sense like this. His gains, also not great, despite obviously having higher hit counts. The compensation with the MP gain kind of makes it so that it's still not great. They can be okay, but still not great numbers for his MP gain, nor for his, I guess, star gain is for a 3-star with the higher numbers. It's okay, but with 1 quick as well, not really worth mentioning that much. There it is again, Voyager of the Storm. And it won't be the last one, right? I don't think it will be the last one. But yeah, there it is. Good old pirates. Just a bland, boring, weak skill. Now he has a guts too. 1 time 3 turns on a 7-turn cooldown. This should be 5 turns. There's no even with the battery, there's no reason for this not to be 5 turns. 30% battery is okay though, for sure. Again, helps with that farm, but there's no reason on it. If it's a 7-turn cooldown, this should be 5 turns. It's okay for a 3-star skill. It's alright. This one actually not bad. Self buster up 3 turns, 20% with a 15 bomb. I think it should still be 5-turn cooldown because it doesn't go to 30% and it's only a 1-time bomb instead of like stars per turn. But still, not bad. Not bad. He's like a 3-star Drake. Yeah, you might be right actually. Magic SD could be higher. Riding B kind of irrelevant with that 1 quick card. And then the MP, which luckily has been buffed as well. And honestly, his OC is ridiculous. So the damage, sadly, it's a bit hard to get MP5 because obviously he's story locked and he barely gets any rate ups ever. So good luck getting that MP5. But the OC is so good. And AoE minus 50% crit chance down on base for 3 turns. That's fucking nuts, man. For bosses. It's base 50%. That's actually really strong. One of the best crit chance cripplers in the game. Is really... And it's on AoE. That is a sexy OC, I have to say. No normal effects, sadly. And again, MP5 is very hard to get in this story locked in particular. Yeah, Columbus. I feel like he should be above Alexander and Medusa at least. I'm not sure about A though. I'm probably going to place him in B+. I would probably rate him higher than Alexander and Medusa though. Even if I might not easily assume MP5. But I think he is better than those two. Not a bad servant. So yeah, I'm assuming MP5 them. I'm assuming, and not always an MP5, but sometimes more MP levels in this case. It's a harder case, but I still like him more than Alexander and Medusa personally. Speaking of story locked, the next 3-star is also one. How about that? Yo, Alpha, thank you for the 4 gifted. I guess we met the sub goal. I guess Jax has some work to do now. Thank you for the 4 gifted subs, man. Much appreciated. Where is he? There he is. The horse, Juan himself. Ignore the fact that he's Chinese. He has a Spanish name. Red hair. AoE quick DPS. Definitely not a farmer again. More of a DPS. Again, would make more sense for him to be single target for sure, like the man he tries to be, or wants to be, or thinks he is, if you know what I mean. All of those. But yeah, as it happens, he is AoE. Attack, sadly, much like a lot of Lost Spell 3 servants, definitely on the low side. So, that's not great. Double quick, double arts. I think double buster, double quick would have made more sense because he has crit potential in his kit, but oh well. Gains are pretty average as well still, even released many years later after the launch. Still not great. Stargen though is actually not bad. At least there, it's worth mentioning. Stargen is alright, despite the MP gain not being amazing. Then the skills. Self quick up. But then they go back to this thing again, where it's based on X amount of attacks or turns. I just wish it was like 3 turns instead. 30%, 3 attacks, 5 turns. And a self-star generation, 3 attacks, 5 turns. So you better hope it's not landing on those arts cards or it's kind of wasted. Decent uptime though. Although one Brave Chain could easily just wipe this, so it depends, I guess. A bit more flexible than like 1-turn skills on a 5-turn cooldown, but I would still prefer just flat out 3-turn effects, obviously. So yeah, it's okay. Second skill, I hate this skill. Why is the evasion tied to this shit? Thank God the evasion alone, at least this is the good part, right? It's a 1-turn evasion and 5-turn cooldown. Great. Great. It's already better than average for that. The standard is 6 turns for an effect like that. But then chance-based, like up to 80% chance to get Ignore Invul and up to 80% chance to get Star Absorb. Like, why does it have to be RNG? Is it that good? Not really. No, not really. I hate RNG, man. But still, on a 1-turn evasion, 5-turn cooldown, it's still alright. I just hate the RNG. And then the third skill, again back to this. So the crit damage for 3 attacks or 5 turns. At least here it also goes higher in the turns, I suppose. And correct me if I'm wrong, this only consumes the thing when you actually crit. So in this case, this is the only of all these effects he has, the quick, the Stargen, and the attack. This one is the only one that I don't mind being on attack based, because it only gets consumed on crits anyway. So it's actually fine like this. But for this quick up, this star generation, and this attack buff, man, I wish they were turn based instead. Also, yes, the dog is awake. Sorry about that. 20, and especially it's 20%. It should be 30 if it's only attack. It should definitely be 30. But yeah, decent uptime if you know, potentially, but maybe not. Man, I don't really know how to feel about his kits. There's some synergy for sure, but some awkwardness to be seen for sure. God, can he just chill for a second? Jesus. Riding EX is amazing on him, by the way, though. This is the first actually good servant to have a riding passive. He has good quick cards, and his MP is also not one hit either. So here, this is really, really good. Great. Berserker bonus also great. And then the MP. I like that there's at least one normal effect that ignores defense, which is good. And then what's chance-based skill seal 1/3 60? Why? Just what is that? What is that? Can we go to 50%? You know, crit chance down again? That was nice. Can we go back to that for Columbus? Also, Chocolate, thank you so much for gifting a 5 sub bomb as well. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. Like, why is this MP not single target? I don't get it. I don't get it. Everything in his kit wants to be single target. It's just weird. So many of these low star riders should be single target over AoE. I don't get it. I don't get it. Lubu is single target. Why is he not single target? God damn it. If he would be a lot better if you're single target. As is, for all those people that have used him, his damage is kind of noodle. Even if you get like good value from his buffs, he still doesn't hit hard, honestly. He just doesn't hit very hard. God damn it. Yeah, I agree, Shard, that the silver lining in the AoE MP is that it's good for star generation at least, but still, would make more sense for him to be AoE. I guess I might place him in the same tier as Medusa and Alexander, despite obviously being story locked. He still has a more modern kit despite not still being amazing. I think I'm placing him in the same tier as well, if anything. Although I guess he lacks the MP damage bonus. That's true. That's true. His MP hasn't been buffed. Yeah. Yeah. If he had the MP buff, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is fair. Could use a buff or two, for sure. And more raid ups, because he's story locked. Last 3-star, a very popular one at that as well. Most people's favorite character in Atlantis, I would dare say almost. Mandricardo, single target arts DPS. Now that's very rare for a rider, huh? Yeah. Attack, sadly on the low side again, but you know, not as bad as some of the ones we already saw. Double arts, double quick is actually good for him, especially when you see this skill set. I like that. Gains are not terrible, but not amazing. But, you know, you can obviously affect that with supports, and his MP helps as well. Quite a bit. Stargen, mostly forgettable, I would say. Now, the skills. He actually has decent stuff. This skill is just a better charisma, is what it is. It's the same 20% attack up party-wide, 3 turns, 5 turn cooldown, but he also gets self-defense up to 30% for 3 turns. Actually a solid chunk of defense up, so it's definitely an alright skill. Not bad. Now the second skill is... yeah, okay. Now this is a skill that you... sadly, a lot of the times, it's a dead skill. A lot of the times it's just a dead skill. So you already need to be half HP or less to even use it, but then you're probably not going to use it anyway. But let's see, what does it do? So when you can use it, when you're half or lower, you get a massive 50% attack up for 1 attack for that turn, a massive 100% crit damage for 1 attack that turn, and you strip... like, well, this is a demerit, right? You can't get healing, but that's whatever. Because of the other demerit, it doesn't matter. And then you also strip the buffs of the enemy with that 1 attack you do. Sadly, I believe that now there's a lot of awkward stuff in this, right? And obviously you die after that 1 attack. So I actually had to make sure I understood this skill properly. So what it does is that the first attack you do does all of this, all of it. Be it an MP, be it a face card, everything happens. So I hate that for the fact that obviously you want to use it on the MP, right? But that means the crit damage is just flat out wasted. It's gone. Wasted. It doesn't do anything. Obviously an MP cannot crit, so that's already wasted. Annoying. And the defense buff removal is also after damage as far as I know, which is also very sad. And then, even if you have a brave chain on him, he doesn't wait until like after the turn to die. No, no, no. He hits once, he dies. It would interrupt the brave chain too if you had one on him. He just dies. That 1 card you use on him, whatever it is, a face card, an MP, he's dead. He's just gone. I totally think it should have been like a full turn or something instead, to at least get use of the crit damage, because unless you have like double hero creation, why the fuck would you ever go for a crit over an MP? I guess sometimes you might not have your MP and he might be like 10 HP and you're like, fuck it, he's not gonna get his next MP, might as well get hopefully a crit out of him. But yeah, besides that, it's mostly just useless for the crit. And in a lot of cases it's a dead skill anyway, because you don't want him to die, you want him to stay alive. So yeah, weird. I believe this would work with Guts. I believe Guts can prevent sacrifice every time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, the third skill. Back to better stuff. Self-quick at arts up 3 turns, 20% each, with a 1 turn taunt and a 5 turn cooldown. This makes the first skill even better, because he already has a nice solid defense up to go with the taunt, so... there you go. Also, I think this song is loud. Can you bump it down a bit, Daryl? Yeah. Works with his deck, like I said earlier. Pretty solid. Not bad. So if you have Guts, you can MP, get the buff, and then get the fat crit behind. No. No. That's also annoying, because even most skills that like... okay, I'm gonna go back to this for a second. Where is he? Like Red Hare, for instance, right? Who had this thing, which is a crit damage for 3 attacks, right? This means it's only consumed if you crit. But in Mandricardo's case, it's gonna get consumed anyway, which is dumb. Like, the MP would consume this crit damage buff regardless. It's just dumb. It's dumb. It just would consume it anyway, despite it obviously never being able to crit. So even if you do revive with Guts and get your follow-up, you'd still not get the crit damage bonus if you start with MP, right? It doesn't consume it. Does it not? I was asking people earlier and they said it did. Wait, does it not do that? Okay. Well, I guess if you do Guts, then maybe you can get that crit. Okay, I was misinformed, maybe. Oh well. Anyway, still obviously not a great skill, I would say. Magic C is nice. Could be higher. Riding B also nice. Saber bonus doesn't matter. And then the MP. So you get a rainbow buff first before damage. 20% each. Honestly, not bad. Makes your brave chains way more flexible, I guess. Actually a pretty okay OC, I would say. And then after the damage, you get a very small demerit of 10% attack down for 1 turn. So already for the MP, it doesn't matter. It does matter for your brave chain a bit, but not a whole. It's only 10%. But yeah, for the MP, it doesn't even matter. So honestly, not a bad MP. They could obviously buff it for more damage, but Yeah, it's okay. Also a 4-hitter with his numbers means that, especially with just one castaway, he can, honestly, he can keep an MP train going surprisingly well. Like, I think Mandricardo has the strength of being an arts servant. Like, arts is just that good against bosses, right? So, arts and buster kind of both. Quick, not so much nowadays, but yeah. He can kind of reliably MP pretty fast. But again, you gotta keep in mind, in a lot of cases, this is just a dead skill. But even with just these 2 skills and his MP, he can do work. Absolutely. Now the question is, it's obviously the #1 comparison is with Ushi. I don't know. I cannot place him higher by any means, despite I think Arts is way better. But Ushi just has a better kit in my opinion. So I think they break even maybe. Because he has way better card type, which enables way better supports to help him go even better. But Ushi just has a way better kit in my opinion. Also, arguably, somewhat better numbers as well. But yeah, maybe they're kind of interchangeable if anything. In a lot of cases. Because Arts is just that much better than Quick in my opinion. Demerit can stack when it was still slap hard. Wait, what do you mean? This demerit? How would you stack this? It's a 1-turn demerit. What? I'm confused. It's a 1-turn attack down, not a 3-turn. 1 turn. It's only for the turn. It's not even. It only affects the follow-up for the MP for the turn you use it on. It's not. It's a small demerit. It's a very small demerit. But yeah, honestly. I feel like in a lot of cases they might just be interchangeable because his MP is very spammy anyway. Even with just 1 Castoria, and everyone can at least get 1 from a support, so definitely carried by his card type. I feel like, but yeah, a very good 3-star servant. All right, that's it for the 1 to 3 stars. Now we move on to gold, and we go back to day 1. Marie Antoinette. What's up, homies, and whatever you have for the memes, all this stuff. Viva la France. Yes. AoE Quick Rider. Honestly, I'm gonna say farmer more than a DPS. Yeah. Not the greatest farmer, but it's possible to loop with her. Just not amazing, but it is possible. Possible enough, I would say. Now, stats. Attack, low. Low. Definitely low for a 4-star, sadly. Also, Danzu, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back to the Gale Gang. Double quick, double arch deck. I feel like her deck doesn't even matter that much for what she does, especially with day 1 numbers, but yeah, it's alright. Gains, again, they're not good, just not good. For both, I would say. Maybe if you get like the full MP quick, Brave Chain, then you can get some stars, but besides that, not really any. Like, already here, not really good. Not that good for the upper stuff. Used to have a terrible charm. Now way less terrible, because now it doesn't even require the enemy to be a male anymore. Now it's any enemy. Even humanoid is pretty good, but this is any enemy in the game. So that's kind of cool. But still, they didn't up the chance to go to 100%, which I hate. Why not up that as well? I do like the addition of the new second effect, though. It's basically a free charisma. So that's cool. Also, the dog is fucking on fucking crack today or something. Jesus. Okay, cool. Very cool. I guess, yeah, there is another skill that will help with this, true. But they're not always going to be up at the same time, right? But yeah, it's not as bad as it could be then. We'll get to that in a second. This is a great skill, though. Like, actually. Self-invul, 3 attacks, 6-turn cooldown, no duration. I guess the other effect is kind of... It's pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. Because a lot of times you don't even need it, and even if you do, man, that healing sucks. Even if it's 5 turns, no, it sucks. Still a good skill, though. Still a great skill. Great defensive skill. Just because it's so flexible with the hits, not having a duration and 3 attacks, is nice. I wish this was another different effect, though, for the other one. This won't really do anything, to be honest. Good for survival. And here we go. So, mental debuff success rate up. So, if you do max this, you actually... It does count for charms as well. So, you can get a 110% chance, I suppose. Yeah, fair. Okay. Still a sucky skill though, even if it makes the charm way easier to land, but still definitely a sucky skill. These are just not good skills. Another heal as well, as if she needs it, but you know what, there you go. At least the first effect has a good uptime, I guess, but yeah. Yeah, weak. Just makes this a bit more less awkward, but still weak. Overall, not the best kit for a 4-star. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks that you have to use 2 skills to make one better, though. Right, Magic Risk C. I think I'm gonna rate her as a farmer, so in a lot of cases this won't really matter too much. You could, I suppose, bring her against bosses too, but she would not be your only DPS, for sure. Writing A+, mostly for damage. And then the MP also has seen a buff, which is cool, and luckily it's not an early buff, so they actually did something else with it too. So, Party Cleanse, love that for bosses, and then Party Crit Damage. It's only 20% for 3 turns, but it's just a bonus, always nice to have. And I wish this was like a base 1k heal, and this was a scaling effect instead, if anything here. 1k party heal on base OC. But it's a good MP after the buff still, with all that stuff. It's definitely good. Cleanse and the crit damage and high damage. And she's a day 1 servant, so chances are many people have her at way higher than MP1 anyway. And she can indeed Scotty loop, right? It's very bare bones, so as far as I know, it's mostly carried by the fact that you're gonna be up against casters, right? Yeah, it's very bare bones though, but it is possible. It's definitely possible, okay? What am I gonna do with Marie? She's okay in bosses and alright in farming. B+ with the buffs? Maybe? One of the Bs? I don't think I can even put her in A, honestly. I'm not feeling an A for her. Maybe B+ with the buffs. Especially, most notably the MP buff, if anything. Yeah. Because she still can farm, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Another day 1 servant then. Martha. Definitely cannot farm. AoE Buster DPS / support. Now that is a combo right there. She's no bitch, I'll tell you that much, but okay. So attack, even worse than Marie. Her HP is really fucking high though, because of the attack being so low. She has a triple arch stick with the Buster MP. Her gains honestly are not terrible though. Like if you land a solid arch crit, it's actually fine, even with the 1 hitter. And obviously with triple arch, it's easier to get arch chains. But yeah, they're not terrible. They're not amazing, but they're not terrible. They're better than Marie's though. Stargen, there's nothing to say about it. It's basically non-existent. Then the skills. Self debuff res actually goes up to 100%. 3 turn uptime. 2 turn downtime, not bad. Self heal, yeah. I wish this was the better version that Vlad, Lancer, and King Hassan have, with a lot more effects with the defense up and the attack up as well, but okay. Then, dude, this fucking buff, dude. Why? Like, not only was this skill already weak, what the hell is this buff? They just increased the heal amount. No cooldown, no other effect. They just slapped or have a plus. We'll do these early game design decisions. Imagine something like this happening in 2022. They would get absolutely blasted. There's no way this would happen in this day and age anymore. What the hell is that buff? Even with the buff, it's weak. I like that you have a party cleanse on command though, but it should be like a 5 turn cooldown, let's be real. As is, it's just like an AoE disengage with a higher cooldown. Still, why? And then the third skill is actually good. Is actually really good. It's so much better than torture technique. So like, as a reference, if I remember my numbers correct, torture technique also a 5 turn cooldown, but it's a 20% defense down for 3 turns, right? And this one is 30%, and it also comes with a buff strip, so this is actually a good skill. She actually has a good skill in her kit, so there you go. That is good. That is good. Magic Rosé. Well, again, you might need this because she's not really a farmer, so that's nice. I guess if you want more, because you already have a lot. Writing A++, that's one of the best jokes I've seen all day. Divinity C+, yeah, that's another one. Berserker bonus, okay. Her MP used to be like one of the wettest noodles the mankind has ever seen. Luckily with the buff, not so much anymore. Still not the heaviest hitter by any means, but it helps a lot, especially because they also include a new normal effect for a 20% buster up for one turn. Not sure why this is not like MP damage, because she only has one buster in her normal deck anyway, but at least it helps the MP. And then more defense down. This one is on it. So this is basically a free torture technique. Sadly after damage, but still not terrible on 20% base. It's not 10% would be pretty bad, but 20 is okay. Yeah, it's an alright MP now. It's an alright. But again, yeah, why doesn't she just have a support MP? I don't get it. She's weird. Just these early game design choices, man. I don't get it. I just don't really get it. What am I gonna do with Martha here? Some of these are so so awkward to place. I have a feeling she's like C+, maybe B. So one of these two as a 4-star. Maybe a B+ after the MP buff. Because actually, at least now it does okay damage. Besides that, her supporting capabilities are fairly limited, I would say. I think I'll keep her in B, honestly. She has some... if she was single target, then I might be easy B+, right? Obviously, some challenge quests are AoE, of course. But still, I don't know. I feel like single target would just work better for her. Or just, you know, a flat-out support MP instead. Yeah. I can maybe, on a good day, understand a B+, but I'll keep her in B myself. We'll see later if I want to change my mind. Not day one, but pretty close. Definitely year one, though. Okay. Anne, Bonnie, and Mary Reed. The OG, not the summer version that we saw 2 weeks ago. Single target. No, but not Buster, actually. This one is quick. The Archer one is Buster. This one is quick. Very similar in a lot of ways, but yeah. Quick DPS. Attack. It's okay. 9k. Actually... my brain is dead. It's actually lower than average, but you know, I still like over 9k is fine. Not terrible by any means. Double arts, double quick. I think they should have double buster because they have crit focus. I'm not sure why they have a deck like this. Double arts is so out of place here. I don't understand why it's double arts. It doesn't even help. The gains are still bad. They're still bad. They're just flat out bad. Just try them out. You'll see for yourself. They're bad. Stargian can be okay, but again, mostly requires the help of an MP as well. But besides that, yeah, not really worth mentioning. So not the greatest of starts. This used to be like crap, just full on pretty crap. Now, quite a bit better. I remember when this buff happened, actually. So, it's now also a Guts, 1 time 3 turns, 6 turn cooldown. So it's about average for something like that. Also now comes with a 1 turn taunt, which actually I kind of like, seeing as their, you know, synergy is lower HP means higher damage. Also now comes with MP generation for 3 turns on self for 30%. Great skill. Great skill. Yeah, this is a reason. Yeah, this was 6th anniversary, right? It's actually good now. Used to be like bad, now it's good. How about that? I like it. Also gives them a defensive option, which they also lacked. So this helps with defense, offense, and utility, like easier to get your MPs as well. So yeah, it's actually good. No, I mean obviously this is not this MP game buff doesn't mean that obviously they're gonna get like insane gains suddenly, but it helps. It just helps. But like let's just like looking at the buff itself, it's huge. It's so huge. Like look how much the skill changed. Kind of crazy. Great buff. This one, back to the basics, huh? Sadly, this one isn't buffed. So it's the same skill as Billy, right? So it's self-crit damage, 100%, 1 turn and a 5 turn cooldown. Well, again, you can have that one nice turn, but man, it's just so slow. Too slow. Average at best. Same here. Self-attack up 30% for one turn and absorb 600% for one turn, 5-turn cooldown. It's not terrible, but just so slow. So slow. Yeah, Billy might have a higher number. I meant that it's both marksmanship, but yeah, Billy probably has the higher number. Magic D, sadly the only passive in a low rank at that. MP also has seen a buff, but because they hate buffs in early design, it's just a damage buff. Just why? Why is it just, why doesn't it have like Invul Pierce or something as another normal effect? Or something else that's cool? Why is it just a damage buff? God damn it, dude. Potential is good though, for sure. Especially now that they have a 1 HP guts and a taunt. That's cool. So it's very easier to get, much easier to get more damage out of the MP now than what it used to be. But in comparison to a lot of the other 4-star single targets, I still don't think they're that amazing. I used to place them in maybe D+. I think now the buff is good though. It solves a lot of their problems. Could they even be B? I don't know. I don't know. This is a harder one. The buff is good though. It's definitely good. It helps with a lot of their problems. It's either a C+ or B in my opinion. I think I forgot where I placed them last year, but if I had to guess, it was either a C at most or D+. But right now, that buff is good. But also considering the competition in which, you know, many of them are free, it's hard to argue here. So you know what? I'll leave them at C. They're average now. Usable for sure, but yeah, maybe hard to justify if you have some of these other options that we'll see soon. First, welfare. Sadly, easily the worst one. Year 1 Christmas. Santa Altar. AoE buster DPS and definitely not a farmer. But honestly pretty sucky as a DPS. Man. Shout out to Instinct. Attack, actually not bad though. That's nice. That's the one thing she has going for her, and that's more or less it. Gains are bad. Deck is okay. The buster and the arts double, that is. But gains are terrible. Just attack is good. Attack is good. And the skills. Targeted, heal on an ally, and also 30% flat star gen for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. It's okay. Bad for herself, because her star gen is jank as fuck. But maybe if you run her with someone else, this could have way more value. For herself, it sucks though. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. 15 star bomb, and that's it. See you later. Was this the last one that's still in the game, or did Saber Lily still have one as well? I forgot. I think Saber Lily still might have it. Did she? I forgot. Yeah, she does, right? These are the only 2 that are remaining in the game for instincts, and they might just remain like that as well. Hey Vish, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Yeah, it's pretty sucky. Okay, at least on her, it's a bit better than, let's say, Saber Lily, because at least she has the Rider absorb. So, you know, I'm trying to find silver linings here. I'm trying. At least she has an easier time of getting the stars, you know? So there you go. Oh, wait, no, they did buff Saber Lily, right? Yeah, so this is the last instinct in the game, yikes. Honestly, I have a feeling... Okay, here's my theory, and you can come back to this and quote me. Remember last year they did the Halloween Super Rerun? This year will be Christmas. You can get all the welfares again, including her. And much like with the Lizzes, they're gonna buff all of them, and they're gonna buff this. You can come back to this. I'm calling it right now. That's definitely gonna happen. That's definitely gonna happen. Super Christmas Rerun this year. You can get Santa Altar again, and they will buff this. Calling it. Okay. And I'm hoping as well. And then a mana burst A-. It's not even 50%, but yeah, it's... Again, the only thing she really has going for her is a relatively hard-hitting MP. That's it. That's it. That's it. There's not much else. There's like nothing else really worth mentioning. Magic Rosé, sure, because, you know, probably because you're not going to farm, so against, you know, bosses is good. Riding A+, good joke, or A, good joke again. The MP, and it actually, it's funny because they kept the same scuffed modifier, scuffed in a good way by the way, as regular Salter. So this is actually buffed values, which is funny. So it's a buffed MP even without having a buff. And then, you know, I guess 10% refunds. And of course she's free MP5, so again, that's the only thing she does. MP hits hard. That's it. That's it. That's Santa Alter. That's all she does. She clears one wave. She doesn't even sacrifice herself or anything. Man, definitely one of the weakest welfares in the game. Probably here. I don't know. Again, dude, so many people are gonna mold it. Oh, he's got Blackbeard is the same tier. No, because it's different rarities. I don't think I can't place her in C even. I don't think I can even place her in C. Even with the quote-unquote MP buff. I don't know, man. Because that's all she does. It's just a hard-hitting MP. I guess C is still slightly below average, though, when I think about it. Usually C plus is around the average, right? Okay. It's a C because it's a free MP5, and it's basically a buffed MP that no other welfare in the game has, right? She has a buffed MP, and the free MP5 makes it better. So C, just because of that. Everything else is not really worth too much talking about. Alright, back to a non-welfare. Have to be unbiased here. It's your boy. It's Stolf. Alright, single target quick. Honestly, both DPS and a farmer. You can do both. Both are viable. Attack on the lower side. I like the triple quick deck. But honestly, or obviously, anyone who's ever used him knows his gains are trash. Trash. He's so bad. Like, let's say you get like an arch overkill. Oh, that's like 20% at most. He's so bad. So bad. But luckily, they gave him a buff that solves most of the problems. But yeah, you definitely want supports with him for much better use. Alone, he's kind of sad. Has some solo potential because of his MP, but still way better in team than alone. Stargen, honestly, card-wise, not the best. It's actually pretty weak, but, you know, his kit makes it a bit better, so it can be alright. It can be decent, but not great. This sucks. This is just horrible. This just fucking sucks. It's a one-turn attack buff for 28%. Why? That sucks. 5 turns of cooldown. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? We need the fucking... We need monster energy strength. We need that as a buff, right? That's what we need. This is so stupid, man. This is such a terrible skill, dude. The second skill also sucks. Like, holy shit. The standard for like a charm or a stun for single target is 7 turns. Not only is this higher on cooldown, but it doesn't even scale to 100%. Fuck, dude, that's terrible. That's so bad. So bad. Like, these first 2 skills are bottom of... There's a 4-star servant. Fucking bottom of the barrel. Now, this used to be okay. The effects, I mean, they're fucking full of RNG, but now it's at least guaranteed to have a battery, which is great. Hefty cooldown at 8, but if you're lucky on your turns, you can actually crit really nicely and get some stars. Now, a lot of people don't even know how this skill works, right? A lot of people think is when you use this skill, it does a one-time 65% check on all of these for you to get these buffs. That's not how it works. The way it works is that when you use this, you get the buffs for all of these. Like, you always get all 3 of these icons, unless you're like buff blocked or something. But then at the start of every turn, it runs a 65% check whether the buff is active or not, which is stupid. Well, I guess this is not a buff. This is just stars, which you'll easily see when this works. But there is no way of telling if your star gen is active or your crit damage. You don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. You're just gonna have to hope it's there. So it's so weird, man. I mean, the potential again is good, so yeah. And yeah, because of the way it works, that you kind of always get these buffs, right? That means buff success chance up has no effect on this, because buff success chance up only increases the effect of placing a buff. He always gets the buff. It's just a matter of when the buffs work. So yeah, buff success chance up is useless on this skill. Useless. But hey, the battery is all he needed. I still really want them to buff these two skills. They're so bad. But this skill is, with the battery, it's still good. It's very good. Weird skill though. Magic Rosé is nice for bosses, riding A+, mostly for damage, not for gains. This is nice, because again, he definitely has crit potential. And then, Saber Bonus, no. And the MP has been buffed. It's a pretty weak buff, but the MP was already good to begin with, in my opinion. With 2 amazing normal effects. Ignore defense, very good. And then this is broken. This is the reason his gains are so terrible. He literally gains a 3-hit evasion of no duration on every MP. Obviously, you can't sadly stack them. Like, it would have to fade away first, and then you get a new one. But yeah, this is the reason why his gains are so bad, because he would be able to have an insane uptime on this otherwise. But hey, it's a really strong effect though, like actually, and a god tier normal effect on an MP. Top 5 arguably in the entire game for a normal effect. On all rarities and all servants, it's so good. And then, 10 stars on base. Used to be 5, good choke. Also does a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Astolfo. Holvy's gonna hate me, but I can't place him in EX. I can't. He's definitely one of the A's, because his farm is good because of the battery, and he's not terrible against bosses either. He's very easy to keep alive, because supports can help him get more MPs off, and his damage ain't bad either. But I can't place him in EX. EX would be too much. If this was a husbando list or waifu list, he would probably be in both. Easy EX. But yeah. I think I'll go A, yeah. I forgot where I placed him last year. Maybe I gave him A+, honestly, but I think I'm feeling A right now. I'm definitely feeling A. Great farmer, though. Good song, by the way. Could use a buffer too still, but he's good. He's definitely good. Are you high? Okay, give me your counter arguments. Have you ever used him? Yeah, sure, the first skill sucks, but he still does what he needs to do. Yeah. You don't need to have an amazing kit to rank at A. You do realize that, right? I think Astolfo less than an A is a crime. In any day. In any day, okay? That's just... I'm not going below A with Astolfo. I will never go below A with Astolfo. Okay? Maybe pre-buff. There you go. That's your... Okay, without the buff, without the battery, he would be like C+ at most. C. The battery makes all the difference. It really does. It really does. So there you go. Call it biased if you want, but people who know what I'm talking about know he should be on the upper side of the list for sure. Next one is cool. Next one is very cool. Another welfare. Quite a bit better than the previous one. Let's be real. Kintoki Rider. Single target quick DPS. Very high attack. Cool. And double quick, double buster deck. Not bad. And ridiculous gains. Like, what the hell, dude? Some of the best gains of any servant in the entire game. Both quick or like star and MP generation. Man's is god tier with numbers. Just absolute god tier numbers. Great attack. Great gains on both. It's just, oof. So, what were they thinking? He's so overtuned with numbers. His kit is a bit more basic to kind of make up for that, but still, numbers are nuts. Just nuts. First skill is great. Self quick up 30%, 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. You could, in this stage, this might be 20%. It's good. And then Stargen also really works with him too. 50% for 3 turns. Great. It's such a good skill for him. Such a good skill. Ooh, very good. 50% battery. Basic. Honestly, in a lot of cases, he doesn't even need it. But, it makes it even easier to have a great uptime on his MPs. Yeah, It's alright. Pretty good. Third skill. This is easily the worst part about his kit. This is like his defensive option, which is barely not. It's like non-existent. Offensive debuff resistance for 3 turns. Oh, it goes above 100, but yeah, it's only for these. And then a heal on a 5-turn cooldown. It's pretty weak. Definitely pretty weak. Yeah, Rise, yeah. Divinity C+. Okay, now we need to talk about something stupid. Why doesn't he have riding passive? He drives a fucking motorcycle in his MP. It's a dude, it would be so amazing on him. His quicks are so good. They must have done that for balance. They realized at some point, oh, he has 2 big numbers. We can't give him the passive as well. It's stupid. He should have riding. Probably EX if anything. He fucking he literally hits the opponent with a motorcycle. God damn it. Also anti-Zerk. Why not make him even better? Why not? And the MP. It's so basic. But it's good. Because obviously free MP5 means it hits like crazy. And you also get more damage and gains. Before damage for 1 turn. Not as good as this one, obviously. But still. Not bad. Not bad. Just... like, he's the definition of basic, but insane because of numbers. There's a lot of these terms, like Okita, Gilgamesh, him, some others that I can't name from the top of my head. But yeah, it's like, the numbers are so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Goddamn. Now the question is, A+ or EX? Quick is not the strongest it's ever been though, but man. Oh, fucking hell, dude. It's a tough one. It really is a tough one. I might still go with the EX. I think in the past I've placed him in EX, and I might still go with that, honestly. If he wasn't a free MP5, probably A+. Because he would still be good at MP1 in my opinion, as a 4-star with those numbers. But free MP5, his MP, like, because it hits so hard... and you can spam it like crazy, right? You can just spam it like crazy. Like a lot of people sadly don't have him nowadays, even on NA, because he's kind of old. But hopefully they're gonna bring him back at some point. Like, just if you ever get the chance to try him and you haven't, he feels so good to use. The only downside is like quick is not the best of the card types. It's the weakest. And his defensive option is not amazing, but obviously supports can help with that, so... yeah. Yeah, he needs an interlude to get the riding passive. Still, one of the best welfares released to this day, for sure. So, is this the first summer unit? It is, right? Yeah, okay. Summer Mordred. Ooh, this is a good one. AoE Arts Farmer. Definitely Farmer, not a DPS. Their damage isn't that good, but farming, ooh. See, she do be sliding on those waves. Attack is actually good. Despite what I just said, the attack is still good. Deck, double arts, double quick. Well, that's fine, because she doesn't have crit focus anyway, to be honest. Gains are... honestly, the gains themselves are not amazing. It's just the MP with the in combination of the MP gain number she has. It's mostly the MP itself. Like, her deck is not the best, but the MP is like, they must have added a number or 2 accidentally. But yeah. Stargent also pretty poop, even if she has a bit of bonus for that. Most art servants just can't really do it. There you go. That fits. Self arts up 3 turns, 30%, 5 turns. It's just good. It's not as good as like Kintoki, because he also gets like Stargent, but you know, this is like all you need for the loop. With some support too, but still. Self evasion 1 turn and crit Stargent. Now this is stupid. Why the hell is this 7 turns? Why? This should be a battery or something. Stargent? A Stargent makes it 7 turns? When 6 is like the standard and 5 is good? Like, excuse me? That's weird. That is stupid. This should be like a 6-5 turn cooldown. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and even this is 1 turn. Weak. You don't even use this when you're farming anyway. Alright, 30% self-battery. 1 time guts, 3 turns, 7 turn cooldown. Yeah, helps with the loops, I suppose. Very basic kit though. In fact, if she wasn't as good of a farmer, this would not look too great. It would be just okay. Magic Resist B, it's okay. This is great though. Arts up and, you know, well, not the star gen, but the arts up. More, why not? And then the MP. The MP honestly sucks. It sucks. There's no damage buff, no other normal effects, chance-based drain. The MP itself sucks. But the only reason it's so good is because it's a 5-hitter. So when you have a 5-hitter MP with a 0.71 MP gain, that's kind of nuts. That's kind of nuts. But again, it should be mentioned that even though her loops are really, really good, it's so easy to loop with her. Even before cast, like you can absolutely do easy loops with her with some setups before Castor is even released. But the damage is not that good. It's just not that good, especially in MP1. Even MP2 is not that great. So I feel like she's still not like amazing. She's very easy to loop. Is it wrong to place her in A? I just feel like she needs more damage. Because I think A is fair for the fact that it's so easy to loop her though. So easy. But is the damage that bad so for me to bump it down here? I want to place her in A, honestly. I would feel dirty if she was below A. But yeah, because of the damage, she can't go higher than this. And obviously, you know, there's some other options too, but yeah. She's still fine, obviously. You can I use her in NA. With MP1 to farm doors. Not very impressive, is it? But you know, easy peasy. Very easy for CEs as well. Because she doesn't really need much to go. But there you go. Right. Another welfare. Rapid fire. There she is. Maybe not as good as Kintoki Rider though, sadly. Summer Ishtar. AoE, quick DPS, and a bit of supporting capability, but more DPS than supporty for sure. Attack. Not as high as Kintoki, but still pretty high actually. Not bad. Double arts, double quick. Maybe double buster probably would have made more sense than double arts looking at her kit, because she has some crit stuff in there and buster stuff too, right? So yeah, I'm not sure why she has 2 arts cards. Kind of odd. It does make her gains better, obviously. And speaking of gains, they're not terrible. Not Kintoki Rider tier or anything, but they're not bad. They're alright. They're okay. Stargen also, mostly with the MP and, you know, a 5-hit buster card, I guess, can be okay as well. Yeah, it's okay. So overall, I would like to see a double buster card instead of double arts. Not too bad, though. Here, not too bad. This is a cool skill. Party White Buster, Quick, and MP Gen. All 20%, 3 turns, and a 5-turn cooldown. Actually good. This is actually very nice. And the reason a lot of people use her on esports as well. Because you have this skill on level 1. So yeah, that's a good skill. It's actually like SSR tier as well. Even better than some SSR skills. So yeah, that's great. 1 attack evasion. At least it doesn't have like an X turns as well. But it's 1 attack. And then self crit damage 1 turn 50%. 4 turn cooldown. It's okay. It's okay. Just because it's like a 4-turn cooldown. It's just okay. But definitely not amazing. It's not like the first skill, which is really good. She has this as well that a lot of servants have. This is the stun demerit version. So, for 1 turn, you get a lot of stuff. Sadly, even here, the invul is only 1 attack. Unlike some of the other versions where it's full 1 turn. So even this is just 1 attack as well. But the other stuff is good. Crit damage, Stargen, MP Gen, debuff res, and well, the healing is not the best in her kit, but yeah, all on up to 50% for that 1 turn can make for a really good turn. Now you will get stunned after that 1 turn, but there are ways to combat it via supports, via mystic code, via command codes, maybe even CE if you want to go crazy enough. But yeah, it's all right, I would say, because of the of how many ways we can deal with stuff like this now, demerit wise. So it's all right. It's still a 6-turn cooldown for all those 1-turn effects though, even though there's a lot of them. But yeah, it's an okay skill. This skill is much better in some other servants, or you know, skills like this. You know what I'm talking about, like Goddess Metamorphosis. Riding EX, really good. I'm still pissed that Kintoki Rider doesn't have this, but at least she has it. It's mostly really good for the MP, because her own quicks only have 2 hitters. Independent action A, no, actually nice, because again, she has some crit potential. And this is nice, not for the flat damage, but for the debuff rest. So even though she doesn't have magic rest, she already gets quite a bit from the Goddess one. So there you go. Very cool. Cool passives. Great, actually. Very great. And then the MP is more or less the same as Kintoki with AoE and a bit better OC. Is literally Kintoki's MP on AoE with a slightly better OC. But the OC is good. 20% quick up, 1 turn before damage. And obviously free MP5 is nice. 4-hitter. As far as I know, she cannot loop, sadly. So that's out of the question. Oh well. But she's not bad. I think I would honestly maybe rate her more as like a DPS than a farmer here. She's actually a good welfare. She might even be on A, honestly. I don't think I can place her in A+ still, but yeah. She's solid. Just good. She's probably not going to be your only DPS when you run her. Maybe, in fact, funnily enough, she would be great with Kintoki Rider when you think about it. So, you know, there you go. There's going to be another 4-star rider later, who's also going to be great with Kintoki as well. Who's also welfare, so yeah, you probably know who I'm talking about. Yeah, she's just solid. Not bad at all. Speaking of welfares, man, there's a lot of them for riders, huh? This one was not the one I was talking about for Kintoki, though. Sakamoto. Single target, arts, DPS, and a bit of supporting as well. So similar to Summer Ishtar, but they're single target. Attack on a bit on the lower side, sadly, though. Double arts, double buster, I think makes sense here. Gains are... they're alright. Definitely okay. Not amazing, but, you know, not bad at all. Star Generation, though, yeah, that one is not that good, though. That one is not that good. Charisma C+. Shame. It's a real shame, but it's something. It's not like Roman damage. Shout out to Boudica. But even though that is buffed now. Party 10% battery flat. I really wish this scaled. It wouldn't be OP. This should scale from 10 to 20, right? I mean, come on, man. Come on, make it scale. And party debuff rest 3 turns. Only 20% with scaling. Like, what? What? 5-turn cooldown is pretty weak. Is just okay, but pretty weak. Yeah. I don't know why this isn't 20% battery. They're like, oh, a welfare can't have 20% battery or something. I don't know. Third skill, though, not bad. Party arts up 20%, 3 turns, 5-turn cooldown. So that alone is the same as Boudica, but he's better. Or they're better, I guess, because also a 15-star bomb. So it's just a better version of Boudica's skill. Not bad. Actually, the best part of their kid. By far. Not bad. It's okay. Magic C is okay, could be higher. Riding A+ is, well, it's a 4-hitter quick, but it's only 1, so eh. Divinity B- is more tickle. Archer bonus does not matter. MP, again, no other normal effects. This is the theme for most welfares, I suppose. And then, oh, another chance-based drain, especially on single target, starts at 60%. Oof. Damn. But you know what? Free MP5 is still a good amount of damage, of course. Yeah, they're alright. They don't really like compare to Kintoki or a certain other single target 4-star rider we'll see later for welfares, but B+? B+? But because of free MP5, I would say. Definitely workable. Absolutely. But not as good as some of the other ones. Don't think they're ever going to get buffed, sadly, because they don't really like buffing welfares, but they could use one, honestly. Just an alright unit, for sure. Without free MP5, probably here. But with free MP5, ding ding ding, have some bonus. Oh man, the next one. Back to Summer. Now, this is kind of a tragedy, isn't it? Damn. Carmilla Rider. AoE quick. DPS, I suppose, because she definitely doesn't farm, right? It would require too much work, pretty sure. Man, Carmilla. I think she's, for what it's worth, I still think she's one of the hottest summer servants they've ever made. Bonus fan service right there. Like, how can you not love that? All right, let's start. Attack. Nice. 9.6k. That's pretty good. It's pretty much the same as Summer Ishtar, right? Yeah. I guess very comparable in these two. Double quick, double arts. Yeah, she doesn't have really crit focus, does she, from what I remember? So you know what? That's okay. Helps the MPs go a bit better. And the gains, honestly, they're not bad either. They're not bad. They're alright. Also, Stargen is also worth mentioning with the AoE quick MP as well. Especially when you land that full quick chain. Then you can get a lot of stars. So, yeah. Stargen actually has good potential. The skills. There's a lot of interesting stuff here, I have to say. Okay. So, goes up to 100% chance to skill seal a single enemy for 1 turn. Obviously, I would prefer MP seal. But oh well. It's something, I suppose. Yeah. Here her Stargen is actually not bad, Shadow. Thanks for the 13 months, Domo. Welcome back to the Gale Gang. Then also reduces the enemy's defense against crits. Man, I wish this was defense down, because that number would be sexy. But yeah, is this like the only effect like this in the game? It's a defense down against crits. So you take 50% more damage from crits. It's interesting. I like it that it's very unique at all, but, you know, technically you would probably want defense down more than this, though. Yeah, when you think, yeah, you can. It's basically a crit buff for your team, but on a debuff. And honestly, in my opinion, buffs are better than debuffs. But it's okay. And then a star bomb of 15. All of this on a 6-turn cooldown, I think is somewhat fair. It's not an amazing skill, but it's not trash either. It's okay. Not too bad. Also, Ningen, thanks for gifting Rish a sub. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back to the Gale Gang, Rish. Second skill. This is an interesting one. So the enemy gets a delayed debuff. And after 1 turn, you drain their gauge and you up your party's gauge. So it's going to be a 1 tick down for the enemy. And your party gets between 15 to 25. Again, why this scale is weird. Why is not like 20 to 30? Why is it 15 to 25? I don't get it. It's delayed anyway. It's weird. And then the enemy who you target also immediately gets crit chance down. 3 turns, 30%. I like that. That's good. Again, it's much like the same skill. They're both alright. They're not crazy. They're not terrible. They're just alright. The delayed thing can be awkward though, but oh well. Yeah, at least, yeah. The one good use for the delay is you can use this immediately on turn 1. That's good. So that's where the delay is better than not having a delay. Because if you would use this without the delay, obviously you couldn't drain the enemy at all, so you waste that. So you being able to use it turn 1 is nice. But besides that, you probably would prefer without delay. Now, HP absorb. So it's a tickle on the enemy to up to 2k. And then she gets up to 2k healing. What could I say? Weak. Now, she also does have an actual defense down, because I guess Carmilla has to have some kind of a defense down. It's a better version of torture technique by value. It's 30% instead of 20, which is okay for 3 turns. 6-turn cooldown, though. Average. It's okay. Around average. Yeah. Overall, her kit is okay, but it's... Yeah. It's not bad against bosses though, for sure. In farming, it doesn't really do anything besides the defense down for 1 target and this after 1 turn. But yeah, against bosses, it's not bad. It is not bad. Oh yeah, true. This is AoE. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. So yeah, you could get up to a 6k heal, so it's a bit better. Yes, true. It can be better. God damn it, my earbuds are disconnecting again. Alright, let me fix my audio issues. God damn it, dude. Every time. I'm sorry if you can hear my music coming through my speakers right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, you cannot hear anything because you can't hear the music regardless. Okay, it's back. Independent action A. Not bad. A bit of more crit damage. It's all passive like that is always good for riders because they obviously have that good natural absorb, so that's nice. And honestly, the star gen actually makes sense here because it can be really nice on her depending on your chain. Then the MP. Actually not too bad. I wish the quick res down was before damage because it's actually nice. It's 3 turns, 20% on AoE. That's actually solid. I just wish it was before damage. And then also inflicts buff block 1 time 3 turns on AoE. Pretty flexible. I like that. Again, good for bosses. Like, not too bad. If anything, she's not really like a high damage dealer or a crazy good farmer. She's like someone who just really cripples bosses, right? Basically. She probably wouldn't be your main DPS. I mean, obviously Plushie's gonna do that. Because of, you know, all the grails and gold foes and everything, but, you know, for a normal person, you probably wouldn't use her as the main DPS. But, you know, she has a lot of stuff in her kit, though. A lot of stuff. I wish she could farm a bit better, though, because that's really bad for her, right? I think one of the Bs... Can I even play... Probably not A. MP1... No... I like that she has a lot of stuff in her kit, though. I think it's worth B+, yeah. I do think it's worth B+. A lot of stuff that's... Most of it is really nice to have, so... Yeah. She's worse than Ryouma against bosses. I would disagree. If you need the damage, then you would pick Sakamoto. But if you have enough damage, like let's say you run a second DPS, which you probably will if you run her, I think she's better, honestly. But again, it depends on what you need, I suppose. So, yeah. Her kit is much better than Ryouma, besides the damage. This is a cool one. Another summer one. Wait, was there really no 4-star rider between the 2 summer events? Interesting. I guess not. Murasaki Rider. Booba lady is back. Summer variants. Single target arts DPS. Attack. A bit on the lower side, but not atrocious. Double arts, double quick is fine. Gains, actually not too bad at all. Pretty solid. Star gen, though. Okay-ish. But, you know, boobs. Alright, not too bad, though. Not too bad for this stuff. Skills. Now, she actually does have an MP seal, which, again, I always, more or less always prefer to skill seal. And it goes up to 100%, so that's cool. And a defense down for 3 turns, 30%. All of this on a 6-turn cooldown. So compared to like a torture technique, which is 5-turn cooldown, but it's less defense down and no MP seal, I think this is the... I still think this is better, even if the cooldown is 1 higher. I think it's worth the effects, so it's not bad. Alright, there you go. There's the FA. Okay. I'm not going to zoom in on, though. There you go. You damn Coomers, okay. Alright. So, much like Karna, she has this thing that before she applies the other debuffs here, she applies a thing on the enemy with 500% chance to reduce their debuff risk by up to 100% for 1 turn. So, very easy to land, and it's basically going to guarantee for that 1 turn all your other debuffs are going to land, right? So it can be really nice. Now, this also skill seals. And also, arts res down 30%. Only 1 turn, sadly, but, you know, the MP helps with that as well, I suppose. It's okay. It's okay. Helps with landing stuff from your other characters as well, potentially. 3rd skill. Actually solid. 20% gauge per turn for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. That alone, not too bad. It's basically the same as Penthright. But also comes with a 20-star bomb. Again. Just nice. Star bombs are actually nice for riders because, again, their natural absorb is that high. Let me hydrate a bit. Not because of what I saw above this, but, you know, because of my throat. Yeah, she's very comparable to Summer Carmilla, but I do like Summer Murasaki more because at least she's single target and arts is superior to quick. Riding B+. Actually not terrible with 2 4-hitter quicks. Sadly, no other passives though, not even Magic Wrist. Alter Ego actually not that good of a thing to have here on Cavalry. It was actually fine for Knights, but for Cavalry, it's kind of a yikes. No, that is also sparkling water free. It's a different brand though. Now, MP damage. This one actually has a normal effect, but it's sadly, again, the infamous 60% chance to drain the enemy. So don't count on this to save you from anything, or otherwise you might have a rude awakening. Arts resist down 3 turns, 20%. So it's the same value as here, but now... Well, actually, no, it's the same value, but it's 3 turns instead of 1. I wish this was before damage, so like Summer Anastasia is before damage. But still, even if it's after damage... She can still spam her MP quite a bit, actually. So even if it's slightly annoying that it's after damage, is like, especially if you get like a full arch chain, easy loop, right? Easy loop. So yeah, that's the second skill, help drain. That's a great question. As far as I know, it doesn't. Because drain is not considered a debuff. Because how do I know? Let's say an enemy is debuff immune. You can still use a drain skill on them. Like vampirism. It would still drain them. So I don't think it does. Because it's not considered a debuff. I wish it would. Because then, dude, this would be even more value. Man, that would be cool. Because then you would guarantee this. Damn. Oh well. Dude, she's somewhat simple, but actually great, huh? I don't think she's necessarily as crazy as like Summer Anastasia on the archer side, but she's solid. So let's see. One of the A's, I think, for sure. Maybe A+ even? I don't know, honestly. She's a pretty MP spammy character. Definitely above Summer Carmilla though. Would cast skill, third skill help the drain? No. Again, it's not considered a debuff, so no. I think she's like a 4-star Mandricardo, right? So I think that, you know, I mean, obviously I would pick her over Mandricardo, so this is not a comparison, but they're just very similar in what they do, like in feel and whatnot, so yeah. Like even at MP1, she's not gonna be bad. And Arts is arguably the best card type against bosses a lot of the times anyway. So yeah. You think A+ is too generous? Could be, but I'm honestly vibing A+ maybe even more than A here. She just has really good uptime on the MP. Yeah, I think I'll go with this. Yeah. I'm okay with this. Ooh, this is a cool one though, the next one. Habetrot. The smallest servant in the game. So small. Oh my. AoE, arts, DPS, farmer, utility, you name it. She's a lot of things. And great in a lot of them. Attack, a bit on the lower side, but still alright. Double arts, double quick is okay. Gains are good. Star gen is okay-ish. But at least the MP gain is pretty good. Skills. It's a targeted skill. It heals, it gives them 1 turn debuff immune, and it gives them star gen 100% for 1 turn. Normally this wouldn't be that great, but it's a 3-turn cooldown, which is actually pretty damn nice. It's a very easy to just, you know, it's a skill you can just chuck in there basically to just help, right? For farming, it doesn't really do that much, but for bosses, which again, you can totally bring her for bosses too. Yeah. Actually good because of that 3-turn cooldown. You rotate very fast with this skill. Second skill. This is nuts. Self arts up 30% 3 turns and an 80% battery, and then a demerit that no one cares about. 2k. You can literally heal it off immediately if you wanted to, which I assume most people would do, so you can immediately just heal this off. Wow, that's a skill right there. It is a hefty cooldown, but for farming that's all you need, and for bosses you can definitely get it at least twice. At least twice. That is a nice skill. It's just a better version of Nidocris battery in my opinion, even if Nidocris can go up to 100%. I like this more with the arts buff. Then the third skill. Very unique. So, target one female ally to give them invul for 1 turn, and the guts for 1 time and 5 turns, and healing for 5 turns. Up to 2k per turn. Actually, no joke. That's 5 turns. Also removes their dots. And then, after that's 1 turn, Habetrot dies. Now, in some cases, you want this. Maybe not so much for bosses, but for farming. Because you can kind of farm in 2 ways with her, right? You can easily loop. Or you could do the Arash way. You MP the first wave and then you die. Like, she has both options. And she's very good on both. And she can even still do a good amount of work with bosses as well. Riding C, again, it's alright. With the double 4-hit arts. Or arts quick. You know, debuff success rate. Okay, it's not the biggest deal for her. Crit resistance though, now that's great against bosses. It's just a better version of crit chance down, because, you know, like I said earlier, I prefer buffs to debuffs, so that's cool. Berserker bonus, again, very nice. She can even farm berserkers. It's obviously not as easy to loop berserkers than casters, but she can still do it. She can't do like a black rail setup easily. She can actually do it with casters though, which is fucking cool. And then the MP. So, it's a great MP. MP damage 30% for 1 turn before damage. Also ignores defense. And, you know, a bit more supporty. Reduces her own absorb for 3 turns by a flat 100%. So, you know, some others can crit rather than her. And a base 20%, or not 20%, but 20 star bomb. That's a great MP. And now, remember what earlier when I said there's going to be one special case for welfare? I probably should consider her MP5 here, because it's very attainable, because she's a friend point gacha welfare, so she's always gonna be there as long as you beat LB6. So if you just keep playing the game a lot after LB6, you will eventually have MP5 Habetrot, basically guaranteed. So at some point you will have that, so I don't think it's totally unfair to assume like higher MP levels for her. She's not as rare as like Andre Mayu, which is great. She's as rare as Saber Lily, basically. Dude, what can I say? Habetrot is so cool and flexible as a servant. So cool, right? There you go. There's your second EX. Habetrot. Looping, great. Can do it with Black Rail, by the way. Like, you can do it with Black Rail. If you put that, you have an 80% battery, 20% append. That's already turn 1. Castoria buffs or batteries, turn 2. Loops easy. Like, can do some crazy loop damage as well. Really nice. And again, you can do the Arash farm too, for another option. MP turn 1 and then sacrifice. She has a massive battery, so it's not like she needs to suck up a lot of team batteries anyway. So... and also can be good for bosses too. I feel like farming is better than bosses for her, but still. Like, how flexible is this one small servant? Goddamn. We're nearing the end of 4 stars. This is an interesting one. A very hot one too. Summer Caenis. Summer 6. Alright. AoE Buster... DPS. Yeah, DPS over farming for sure, right? Yes, okay. Attack 9.5k. I like that. Definitely on the higher side. Show the FA. Okay, fine. There you go. God damn it. Oh wait, yo, she's single target. I was thinking, dude, I was thinking of normal Caenis. You're right. Yes. Dude, brain fart. Yes, single target. Way better a single target here for sure. Yeah. Thanks for the correction. Double Buster, double arts. Actually good. I like that. Double Buster is nice for her crit potential, which is actually very solid. And arts is good for the refund, which is also pretty good for her. So the deck is really nice. Gains are good. Star Gen, not that good, but that's okay. She gets stars anyway, and others can help too. Now, just a better version of Charisma, I guess. And bonus crit damage for male or unknown gender servants as well. And you know what's great? Where is it? Her own gender is unknown. So she actually gets the crit buff herself too. That's great. That's actually really nice. So that's a good skill. Includes her. How about that? Self Arts and Buster up 3 turns, 30%, and a 15 Star Bomb on a 6 turn cooldown. Pretty solid, again. Her star gen isn't the best, but you know, she has stuff like this to help, so. And hopefully supports too. So, yeah. Pretty good too. Good with the deck as well. Then this one. There's going to be another servant later. Both Caenis and the other servant later, you know who I'm talking about. They will be much better if you're running water side. But even without water side, at least Caenis especially, is still not bad at all. So it's a one-time guts for 3 turns on a 6 turn cooldown, which is it's okay. But also stars every turn for 3 turns, up to 10 per turn. It's pretty standard, but it has many effects, so it's okay. Now, again, if you happen to be on water side, you can get a nice chunk of absorb for 3 turns, meaning you're probably going to absorb all of the stars as a rider. And also, it's going to double your stars per gain. Like 20 stars per turn. Now, that's crazy amount. 10 is alright, but 20 is crazy. It's a big difference. So, yeah. Gets a lot better if you're water side. Riding EX, pretty weak here. This is good. Not so much for the flat damage, but, you know, more arts up for easier refunds. Lancer bonus doesn't matter. Then the MP. So, first of all, before damage, 20% MP damage for 3 turns before damage. Again, this is good that it's 3 turns, but she can totally, like, do back-to-back MPs as well. In the best case, you can do 3 MPs back-to-back as well. So, I like it that it's just more than 1 turn. Can actually be very useful. And then the OC is really nice. 3 turns of crit damage for self, 50% base. I guess it's before damage, doesn't really matter here. But yeah, I always like these OCs. We saw some of these already in the previous tier list as well. Like Zenobia for Archer's instance, Suzuka on Sabers. It's just good, it's good. Especially when her kid already favors crits. And again, if you're on water side, you do get a 20% attack up for 3 turns before damage, which is actually really nice. But honestly, even without water side, Caenis, I feel like crits are the way to go, more so than the MP. The MP is fairly spammable, even as a buster one, because of her, you know, stuff helping and supports as well. But yeah, she's like a good mix of MP damage and crits. Obviously amazing if you're on water side. She might even be EX tier if we was just water side, honestly. Just so solid. But without that, probably here. Probably here. Still very usable. Very strong single target rider DPS. Yeah. But hey, water side, she's right there. Right there with the other 2 so far. Alright, here we go. This is the welfare I was hinting at a while ago. Liz Cinderella. Rider Liz, welfare. Let's just be real. Easily the best Liz. Welfare, at least. Maybe even the best Liz in the game. Maybe even better than Lancer, honestly. Probably, yeah. Attack? Around average, not too bad. Buster, single target DPS. Double Buster, double Arts. I like that deck. Gains are actually not bad either, which is rare for a Liz, to be honest. Usually Liz servants tend to have pretty bad gains. She actually does not suffer from that, luckily. It's not like she's crazy. She's obviously not Kintoki Rider or anything, but you know, still not bad. Stargen, though, is pretty bad. Skills. They're full of the merits, but honestly, they're not as bad as they might seem. So, self-invul, 3 attacks, 3 turns, 5 turn cooldown. Strong. Strong, dude. And MP generation, 3 turns, 30%. And because the first effect is hit-based on 3 turns, you can immediately pop this if you want. So it's not that awkward, because it's not like a 1-turn invul. So that's good. And the poison, it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, it's the weakest of the demerits, like here. She has more of them, but, you know, they're manageable. Definitely manageable. Great skill, though. Really good. Okay. Self-buster up. 30% for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. Already pretty solid. The other effect, not the best. So it's cool proto again. So it's wild beast damage for 3 turns. Mostly whatever. And then, you know, a small defense down for herself. Again, not that bad, especially when you see the MP. So it's still okay. Still pretty good, I would say. Yeah, it's definitely a lore thing, yeah. Ooh. 30 star bomb, 30% battery, 4 turn cooldown. Wow! Does come with a skill seal though for self. But again, the MP, right? Dude. Man, that's a big bomb. Oof. This is a much better kit on a welfare than normally, for sure. Riding EX again is very negligible. It's sad that she actually doesn't have territory creation, because a lot of Liz servants do have that, so she could have more arts bonus, but oh well. Alright, the MP, there you go, before damage. First off, yeets all the debuffs, so every single demerit from her own skills at least are gone. Maybe even some enemy ones, so there you go. The demerits themselves are already not that bad, honestly. The skill seal is the worst one, but even then. But yeah, she can just yeet them with the MP anyway. And then, attack bonus to Fairy Tale allies for 3 turns before damage. Oh yes, she was one herself. Yes, okay, so this works for her too. Great. Yeah, that's great. Very good. And then obviously free MP5 means quite a bit of slappage. She was a real surprise, honestly. Because we're not really used to seeing like great Liz welfares. She's definitely standing above the rest. She's definitely at least an A+. Some people might say she's very comparable to Kintoki Rider, and I might agree, but... Damn, dude. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. She's really good, though. Really good. Man, it's so close, though. It's so close. I honestly might just do it. Because she really hits hard as well. At 3 MP5. High attack. Kit is solid. Removes her own demerits. Good strong MP OC effect. I think I'll do it. And yeah, she's really good with buster supports with spam. Yeah. Okay, okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, there you go. EX for different reasons though, but yes, definitely very stellar. Oh, you know what's funny? Remember what I said earlier? That, you know... like this, remember this bonus, Fairy Tale Servants? Well, if we open this menu and see who we have for Fairy Tale Servants, funnily enough, Mr. Kintoki Rider, well, both of them, but also Rider, also a Fairy Tale Servant, so it's a cute combo as well if you want to field them both. It actually works with him too. And actually, there's a lot that could use this, like Ushi is good, Habetrot, herself, Crane maybe, all the Berserkers, Stonai. Yeah, there's even Benny if you bring her for support. So yeah, good, you know, stuff to receive the buff from her. Not bad. There you go. And then the last 4-star. Sadly, not as crazy good as some of the other ones, but, you know. We got Dobrynya. The latest Russian waifu in the game, who definitely I already have at MP5 because, you know, obvious reasons. High attack though, that's cool. 9.7k, not bad. Double buster, double arts. I like the deck. Makes a lot of sense with her kit as well. Gains are actually okay. They're also very fine. Not bad at all. Stargen also not terrible, especially with the skills. So overall, at least this part is really good, you know. Skills, I like this skill because you can easily use it without it being awkward. So 1-time guts, 3 turns, 6 turn cooldown is again pretty much average. Debuff immune 1-time, 3 turns, it's okay. And then stars per turn for 3 turns, you know, again 10. It's all right. It's actually not bad. It's an all right skill, and it's kind of easy to use, so you don't really have to time it like crazy. Second skill. So it's the same skill as Caenis, but instead of having a star bomb, she has self-dragon damage. Otherwise, they're identical with 6 turn cooldown and 30% for the buster and arts. I do prefer the Caenis one, though, obviously. I would love to have a star bomb here as well for Dobrynya as well, because she also has actually very solid crit potential. But, you know, she tends to have quite a bit of dragon niche. For better or worse. Mostly for worse. But yeah, it's still not a bad skill. So another dragon, anti-dragon servant. Self-battery, up to 20%. Party crit damage, up to 30%, 3 turns. And then party dragon damage, 30% for 3 turns. All of this on a 5-turn cooldown. It's very good if you're fighting dragons. If you're not, it's just okay. So, yeah. It's one of those skills again. Riding EX, sadly not that good for her. Magic Grise is great though. Also, I should have noted, I'm probably going to place her as a DPS instead of farmer here, despite having an AoE MP. She's definitely better as a DPS. I actually have a MP5 fully max killed Dobrynya. Nice flex, bro, on JP. She's fun. MP, ignores defense. Like that. Burn, don't like that so much. Defense down 20% for 3 turns. Good effect, sadly after damage. OC, Buster up 20%, 1 turn before damage. It's a strong MP. At least effects-wise, you know? It's strong. Now, you think that with a lot of this stuff, you know, she'd hit pretty hard, right? Sadly, she doesn't really hit super hard. It doesn't really... You'd think she would hit harder than she does, right? She really doesn't hit insanely hard. She has a lot of damage in her kit. Unless you're fighting dragons, you're not going to be really seeing crazy numbers. So it's just a bit sad. Yeah, because she doesn't loop. And her damage is not crazy good either. But her kit is solid. It's just solid, but kind of just falls flat on damage. I'm thinking B+. She's still alright, even without dragons, but, you know, could use a bit more damage, I suppose. Definitely fine as a servant, though. And because she's permanent, if you get more MP levels, that already helps quite a bit, so... But she's very new, so a lot of people don't even have that, besides me, who obviously got spooked to MP5 already. But yeah, yeah. She's still fine. She doesn't feel like a year 7 servant. Yeah, kinda. Alright, that was it for the 4 stars, right? Yeah. Ooh. Then we got the SSRs. Going back to near day 1. Not day 1, but year 1. Released with Okeanos. We got Doreiku. AoE Buster. Definitely farmer more than a DPS. But you could DPS as well, for sure. But farmer, better suited for farming. Attack. Literally like the tiniest bit under average for an SSR. But, you know, basically average. Don't think so? Okay, good. Anyway, I was about to say, I'm not sure if the disconnect picked that up, but yeah. Double Buster, double arts, great deck for her. And don't let the low MP gain number fool you. With these numbers, oh yeah, her gain is good. It's good. It's one of the best in all of Riders, for sure. Especially with the golden rule active. Yeah, very solid. Even Stargen isn't terrible, but obviously not crazy good either. There it is. Is this the last Voyager of the Storm? I forgot in this list. Maybe not. Maybe it is, actually. Yeah. At least she has a higher rank, but still. Meh. Meh. Makes her one of the MPs in the farming hit harder. Her golden rule was buffed, which is cool. So, still comes with a fat amount of MP gain for herself for 3 turns. Now also Buster up 20% 3 turns and also ignores defense for 3 turns. Now it's a great, great skill. Like, actually. Great skill. That's strong. It's cool that now she has ignore defense and ignore invul. Both on 3 turn uptime. So actually her value as a DPS, especially if you need those effects, has gone a bit up. So yeah, she obviously has Pioneer. We saw some of these already in the previous list. The good old 50% battery, 10 stars, and ignore invul, all on a 6-turn cooldown. Which means she can do witch looping, and ding 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 ding. Easy peasy. You do need Atlas though, but she can do it. And because of this as well, her damage is even better. So, yeah, Drake is not bad, man. Passives, Magic Resist D. Against boss is kind of sad. Riding B. Well, she does have a 6-hitter quick, but it's the only one. But, you know, it's a 6-hitter, I guess. kind of nuts. Archer buff doesn't matter. MP has been buffed, which is also great. But you know what? It's one of these stupid early buffs, so it's only damage. How sad is that? Oh, man. Still not terrible. 20 star bomb is okay. And, you know, the damage even on base with the buffs is actually fine. Yeah. So yeah, Drake. If anything, she might have a bit more value now than what she used to. Because, again, she can actually do Buster Looping. And the buff is also nice to make her damage better on looping, and it also improves her value for bosses as well. So I forgot where I rated Drake last, but she's probably A+, honestly. Probably. An argument could maybe even be made for EX, but I feel like she A+ is just a fair rating. Just good. Even at MP1 with the 2 buffs and Koyanskaya supports, good damage, honestly. Not bad at all. So there you go. Solid, solid, solid. Yeah, Vitch is like her best friend, basically. Yeah. Good. Oh, this is an interesting one. She was the 2nd SSR rider, huh? Maeve, the one I love to hate. But also she's hot. Where is it? Let's see. Not this one. Oh my god, dude. Dude, I hate this. It's so good, but I hate Maeve. I'm so mad. Anyway. Single target buster DPS / support-ish kinda. Yeah, definitely nowadays. Attack, sadly on the low side. Compared to Drake, that's already like 10k less. Kinda sad. Buster, double arts makes sense with her kit. Gains are not as good as Drake by any means, but they're not horrible. But does not really compare in that sense. Stargen also weak as hell. So in every sense of the word, she already does a lot worse here than Drake does. In every way, basically. But let's take a look at the kits. Maid is one of those rare servants. I think there's 3 of them in the game that have received buffs to every single thing in their kits. All skills and MP, right? Yeah. 4 if you count Emiya, but he hasn't had a full kit. He had 2 buffs on 1 skill. But yeah, she's one of them. Let me hydrate first, actually. Again, not because of the picture, but because my throat is dying, which you can hopefully hear. So, this is a cool skill now. This was the latest buff, I believe. The 4th one. First of all, self-debuff immune for 3 turns. 6-turn cooldown. That's pretty good, right? Heal self 1k every turn for 3 turns. Not bad. Self MP gauge flat 10% every turn for 3 turns. Also not bad. And with the buff now, 30% battery for male or Fae allies. I really wish this worked for herself. I really wish it would. But you know what? It's still good supporting. It's still good supporting, right? But man, I wish this worked for herself too. It just doesn't. Wah, wah. Sad. But she will be an amazing support for another unit we will see very soon because of this. So, yeah, at least there's that. Used to have a shitty charisma. Now has one of the better buffed charismas. So, another male thing. So, males get 40% attack up for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. That's fat. And it also has a bonus heal. Most of these buffed charismas only have like this thing. But this one also has a heal for herself. So, actually not bad. And again, great for buffing a certain other character we're going to be seeing soon enough. Both of these skills, actually. Ooh. Gonna be fun running them in tandem. Used to be a shit, this used to be pretty shit. It's still pretty shit. So the cooldown is the same. The chance is the same. It's still only against males. And they only added a defense down for 1 turn. 30%. What? Such a shitty buff, dude. Oh my god. That's weak. Weak. Like, you think Maid would have like a top tier charisma of all characters? No, she doesn't. Hers is still pretty weak, honestly. It's not even 100%. That's a yikes. At least these two are pretty good now. This is still... yeah. Magic Whiz B is nice. A writing A. I wish was nicer, but it's not. MP also has been buffed, but because we love these shitty buffs, it's not just the damage buff, but they only upped the debuff res down from 10 to 20% base. So it's still a bad buff in my opinion. But a buff nonetheless. It still hits way harder now, which is cool. But man, if this buff was done nowadays, she would surely have some other normal effect. There's no way a character that's been buffed 4 times would not have like another normal effect on their MP nowadays. No shot. But obviously, if you're fighting males, it does really damn good damage. If you're not, it's average-ish. But yeah, males, good damage. Debuff is down 3 turns, 20% base. Or it's not even debuff, it's mental debuff. So yeah, it's weak. I guess, you know, that's funny though. It actually does, if you open with the MP, it does total to 100% in the charm. So that's worth mentioning, I suppose. But because it's only a defense down for 1 turn, you probably want this to be up before you MP anyway, right? So it's kind of counterintuitive, if anything. This should be 3 turns. I don't get it. On a 7-turn cooldown, it makes no sense to be a 1-turn defense down. Anyway, maybe it's an interesting spot right now. Probably will never receive a buff again, but she's not bad by any means. She might honestly even be A+. I'm not sure. Yeah, she might be here, especially if you pair her with some good stuff. She's not bad, but she's not top of the list or anything like that. I do like the buffs to the first 2 skills though. They're solid. And she still does decent damage on non-males as well. So, yeah, she's still pretty good. It only took 4 buffs, but, you know. There you go. Iskandar alert. Iskandar alert. There he is. AoE Buster. Honestly, I want to say DPS rather than a farmer. Yeah. I'd probably use him as a DPS than a farmer instead. Attack is alright. Not crazy good. You'd expect him to have like 12k like Gilgamesh or something, but I guess not. Still okay. Double Buster, double Arts makes sense. It's the standard good old SSR Rider deck mostly. Gains used to be trash. Now, not so much. They're still not like Drake levels or anything like that, but they're actually adequate. Not too bad. Because this is one of the rare cases where they actually buffed numbers. If you do his interlude, he gets an MP gain buff, like a permanent one. That's why the number is like that. So it used to be shit. Now it's way less shit. Stargen, with an MP turn, it can be okay, but besides that, it's bad. Charisma A, hate to see it. Where's my like King of Conquerors charisma or something like that? Why does he have a base charisma still? No one knows. At least they, you know, buffed his tactics. So now he has an okay tactics. Party MP damage 3 turns, 20%. And party crit damage 30%, 3 turns. All on a 5-turn cooldown. It's still alright. Nothing crazy. It's alright. It used to be trash, so now it's just alright. So, there you go. Third skill. Honestly, I think it might be a worse mana burst, because you trade 1 turn of cooldown to get 50% Stargen for 1 turn. I'm not sure if that's worth. I mean, his MP does have a lot of hits, so it does generate a bit of stars with this, but I'm not sure, dude. It's pretty bad, though, not gonna lie. It's a weak skill. Really weak. Especially for an SSR. Magic D could be higher, writing A+. Weak. Divinity C, nice tickle, bro. Useless append, and the MP. At least they added a new effect to the MP. I wish they improved the defense down as well, because it's after damage. So it's a 10% defense down for 3 turns after damage. That's weak. But now it at least, you know, it's still 10% only on base, but crit chance down 3 turns. Yeah, he's just way too basic, huh? His numbers are okay, but man, it doesn't really bring too much. just doesn't really bring too much to the table. He should be way better than this. Come on, man. Give him like another 2 more. Let's like Maid, he should have a fully buffed kit too. Come on, man. He's probably one of the weakest SSR riders, sadly. Can't even Buster farm. One of the Bs after 2 buffs? I don't know. I can't even put him on A, honestly. Definitely one of the Bs. I just feel like because there's a lot of competition, I'm not sure if I could even place him on B+. Yeah, I think I might just leave him on B, just above average. He's alright. He can do good jobs or good work, but he's never gonna be like, oh, I'm the best. Okay. Remember who I talked about when I said there's a good unit Maid can buff now? Yeah. It's ya boy, Mr. Sun. Ozymandias. Single target buster, crazy man. Attack nearing 12k, that's nice, very high. Double buster, double arts is perfect. MP gain, not bad at all, definitely on the good side. Stargen is pretty weak, but not terrible, I guess. The kit, ooh, they buffed his charisma. Last time I believe when I did the SSR tier list last year, it was just before he got buffed, sadly. He was buffed like a week later or something. So now, the usual party attack buff. But now, also 10 stars per turn for 3 turns on a sunlight field. That's cool. And party crit damage, 30% on a sunlight field for 3 turns. Now you might say, oh, but they just added a niche. Oh. Just you wait. Oh, this is a great fucking skill now. Just you wait. Alright, Imperial Privilege, you already know what I think about this skill. I hate it, but at least on him, it's not that bad because of his 3rd skill. So it's a party, nice 20% battery, always a nice thing to have, and you can guarantee, on max rank, you can guarantee yourself a fat 40% attack and defense for 3 turns. I don't like the fact that they don't match with the cooldown, sadly, so you will get this back before you get this, but oh well. A lot of the times you will get the guarantee as well, but sometimes you might have to gamba, but still. Great stuff. Great stuff. Magic Gris B, not bad. Riding A+. 5 hitter, 1 quick. Okay, it's something. More tickle. Archer bonus doesn't matter. And then, oh my god, then. Okay, here, like, the charisma buff already was pretty cool, but then. Ooh! Now that is a modern MP buff right there. Okay, first of all, it still has the nice guaranteed MP seal, which I always liked. Now, sunlight for 5 turns, not 3, 5. It reduces all of his own cooldowns by 1. What is this buff? This is one of the best MP buffs ever. It's ridiculous. So you thought this skill might have been pretty awkward because, you know, maybe around at most half the time you're going to see sunlight. Nah, he's going to bring the sun. Only 1 MP for 5 turns, and he can spam his MP well anyway with good supports and brave chains. Jesus. It doesn't even matter if the defense down is after damage. He's even solid still at 20% for 3 turns. That's like a free torture technique. Dude, this MP is ridiculous. It's ridiculous how good this MP is. So yes, he finally made it. Ladies and gentlemen, the best single target rider in the entire game, bar none. Sorry, Kintoki and everyone else, but yeah, boy, it's a one-man throne. There is no room for anyone else, okay? There you go. I'm not gonna make it a higher tier though. That's only for like the absolute stupid game-breaking units, but he is definitely, of the single target riders, he is number 1. Now, sadly, they used to be pretty equal, but man, the buffs kind of left Kets behind a bit. Not saying Kets is bad or anything, definitely not, but they used to be, you know, like neck and neck, but then Ozzy was like, oh, let me just go on ahead. Anyway, Kets, another single target buster DPS, just a bit higher attack. I like the look of the number though, being just above 12k, that's cool. Double buster, double arch, much like your boy. Also pretty good gains. They're very similar in numbers, let's be honest. They're so similar, but both are good for sure. Also, they buffed her charisma, luckily. Also not bad. Good, decent chunk of attack and a 25-star bomb. So you know what? Pretty good too. They both have nice charismas now, at least. That's for sure. Second skill, targeted guts. 1 time 3 turns, 7 turn cooldown. And 30% buster after 3 turns. I don't like that the buster is with the guts, because it means the buster buff uptime suffers, because the cooldown obviously goes up with the guts effect. It's always been a bit awkward. It's not a bad skill, but I just hate the fact that the DPS buff suffers in uptime because of the fact that it's tied with a guts skill. It would be like a 6-turn cooldown, or maybe even a 5-turn cooldown without the guts, which is kind of annoying. And then the third skill makes for that 1 good crit turn with a 30% battery, but 6 turns, that's again the downtime. Like, Ozzy doesn't really have that much downtime. Like, it's 6-turn cooldown for these one-time effects. Oh, it's good when it's up. Don't get me wrong, you can make a good turn, but the downtime is kind of brutal. And it's not like she has like reduced all her cooldowns by 1 with her MP, right? That would be great for her too, I'm not gonna lie. That would be really good for her too. But yeah. Magic Rosé is actually very nice. Riding EX, same as Ozzy, negligible. And this is very cool. I love her passives though. She has an innate 50% debuff rest. That's really nice. Always at least 50% debuff res. Really cool. And then the MP, much like Ozzy, has the guaranteed MP seal. Love it. And then besides that, it's so much worse. So much. It's not even buffed for damage. And the OC is a burn. Yikes. Yeah, it's so unfair comparing the MPs now. It's unfair. It is not even a competition at this point. Oh my, poor kids. They need to buff this MP to bring her back. I almost still want to put her an A+ with the charisma buff, but I don't know. I don't know if fuck. This is a tough one. It's one of the A's for sure. She just needs the MP buff as well. I feel like she's also story locked. I'm gonna place her in A, because it's really hard to get MP levels as well. Really hard. Yeah. Yeah. Is Maid better than her? I think I would find more use for Maid than Kets with all these buffs. Yeah, actually. I think this would make sense in that sense then. Yeah. I mean, Kets is still fine. Don't get me wrong. Still fine. But compared to like, it's just, it's brutal. Please give her the MP buff. And give her some really cool stuff like Ozzy did. Just a nice solid. She could, depending on the buff, she's probably immediately gonna jump to A+. And if it's ridiculous like Ozzy, she could honestly land here too. But at least an A+ with the MP buff. When it happens, hopefully at some point. Maid alter. Single target. Quick DPS. Attack not clearly a lot lower than Ozzy and Kit, sadly. Double quick, double arts. Would it have hurt if they gave her triple quick? Not really, right? I'm not sure why she doesn't have a triple quick. Kind of sad. Gains are still okay for sure. Nothing wrong with those. Even Stargen is actually pretty good, so that's worth mentioning. Probably one of the best of all the riders, in fact. So yeah, that's all right, I suppose. Would be even better with triple quick, but still not bad. Self-attack up 30%, 3 turns. Party quick performance, 20%, 3 turns. 6-turn cooldown. Not bad. Not bad. Definitely fine. It's okay. Okay, you guys want DFA? Okay, come on, there it is. God damn it. My chat is full of Coomers. It's actually not bad. Not great, but not bad. It's alright. Then they buff this skill, which is very rare for a summer servant to get a buff. So, targeted skill. Reduce the cooldown of the target by 1, or cooldowns of the target by 1. Also gives them 50% Stargen for 3 turns. And, you know, the demerit is not bad. It's just, it deals 1k damage to them. And then the buff. So, it's a, I don't know why there's a delay, but after 1 turn, they get max HP by up to 5k for 5 turns. Like, I don't get it. I mean, it's nice to have, but like, what would, like, they buff summer servants so rarely, then they were like, oh, this is the one we're gonna buff, and this is the effect we're gonna add to this skill. Like, all of those choices just feel so... I mean, it might be a lore reason, because it's called build upper, right? But it's just... yeah, it's weird. So it's like it's more like a fun buff than an actual legit big buff. It's an average skill. Just average. Give this to Ketch though, ho, or give it to Ozzy for even more cooldown reduction. Huh. Self quick up 1 attack, 3 turns, 30%. The saving grace that it's a 3-turn cooldown, but let's be real. This should be like at least 40. Come on, even if you can use it with the MP, it should be at least 40. Come on, man. Nah, dude. Like Ishtar, hers is 50% attack, right? With the delayed thing. I mean, sure, you have the delay, but it's easy to... I'd rather have a delay if it means like I get a better buff. Honestly. Damn. It's pretty Yeah, or make it a 1-turn cooldown. It's like spam reload. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think this would be broken at 1 turn, honestly. I really don't think it would be broken at 1 turn. Or at least 2 turns, you know? Well, yeah, if you use Atlas Mystic Code and then this on herself, yeah, you can use it again, but still. Okay. Magicker's B is alright. Writing B is actually very nice. I wish it was a bit higher, if anything. Independent Action EX, always nice to have, especially the highest rank on Riders. Saber bonus does not matter. The only other normal effect is a self-refund, 10%, and enemy crit chance down, 30% 3 turns. Honestly, the MP is not bad. I like the MP. It's good against bosses and helps, you know, get the next MP a bit faster. So, not crazy good, but it's good. It's good. Man, I feel like Maid Alter is just, whenever years go by, she just looks worse and worse, honestly. It's not like she's bad or anything, but, you know, Quick also looking like the worst card type right now doesn't do her any favors. I'm gonna rate her below Kets. I'm gonna rate her below Kets, I think. I think Kets with the charisma buff is better. Yeah. I think Kets with charisma is better. B+ is where I think I'm gonna place her in. Also, her card type is not nearly as good as Kets is, so yeah. Hopefully they can make her shine a bit better somehow in the future. Oh, this is a fun one. One of my personal favorites. In fact, well, besides Reines, my favorite rider in the game, basically. It's your boy, the OG Lost Belt King #1. Ivan. Let's go. AoE Buster. More so of a DPS than Farmer, for sure. Yeah, definitely more of a DPS. Attack is pretty okay. Higher than average. Double Buster, Double Arch is perfect. Again, here too. Gains are good, especially with the Golden Rule equivalent active. Is really good. Stargen is okay as well. Not too bad. How about that? There it is. So again, it's just a better version of Golden Rule. Same cooldown, pretty much the same rate as the Golden Rule A, right? But also, just a bonus cleanse. Why not? Always nice to have, because again, he's more against bosses than farm, so cleanse is good. It's nice to have. Second skill. Ooh. 10 stars per turn for 3 turns. Pretty standard, but then 40% buster up for 3 turns on a 5 turn. Definitely higher than average. 30% is already solid. 20% is but not terrible. 40% is nice. That is real nice. That is a lot of buster up, man. Good uptime as well. Really good. And then the third skill, which is really cool. Self-invul 1 turn on a 6-turn cooldown. So again, it's the standard. But then AoE buffs go bye-bye from enemies. Bye-bye. Just remove them all. Not just the latest buff. Not just from one enemy. Every buff you can remove from all enemies. Bye-bye. And then cripple them more with a AoE attack down. 3 turns, 20%. Solid. Just real solid. A lot of cases you could actually use this not for the invul, but for these. No joke. I mean, chances are you're going to be running him with 1 Merlin at least anyway, so you know, invul might not be the worst thing to miss out on. Yeah, his kit is pretty damn solid. Not many effects, but the effects that he does have are really good. Just really good. Oh yeah, I should plug my video here. Before he came out, I was like, I made a video about praising Ivan as well, so you know, check that out as well. I forgot what the video was style. It was like the one servant no one talks about or something. Magic D, sadly on the low side. Riding EX, well, doesn't do much with one quick, but it's, you know, cool to have, I guess. And then the MP used to not do amazing damage, but now actually hits really hard with the buff. First of all, MP damage up 1 turn before damage, 30% base OC, solid. The only annoyance is that the Buster is down is after damage, but they did buff that to 30% as well for 3 turns. And if you do that with like a full-on Buster chain, is ridiculous amount of damage though. Like he can hit harder than ST, like single target ones sometimes with an AoE MP. Kind of crazy. He's really cracked. I already knew before I made this list where I was going to place Ivan at. As much as I love him, I'm still not going to place him in EX. But man, is he damn solid. He's an easy A+ though. An easy A+. Like, there's no argument to be made. If he was single target, he was probably a EX, honestly. Because he's more of a DPS than a farmer. But yeah, he's still really good after that MP buff. So, yeah. Do love my mans. Don't sleep on him, he's great. Ooh, Mr. Carrot. Back to permanence. Ooh. AoE quick DPS slash farmer, I suppose. His farming is not that amazing though, but it's doable. But I think, again, he might have better use as a DPS than a farmer, honestly. Anyway, attack. Similar to Ivan, pretty high as well. Not 12k, but still high. Double quick, double arts. Maybe, I think double Buster honestly would have been cooler than double arts because he has some crit stuff in his kit. But oh well. At least his gains are better, I suppose. And they're good. They're definitely good too. Also, Stargen is also good, I would say. So actually, pretty good here. Just a bit worse for crit potential here for damage. But, you know, I guess it's a trade-off. First skill, self-quick up 3 turns, 30%, and crit damage 30%, all on a 5-turn cooldown. Basic but solid. This is one of these skills again. We've already seen many of these today, but yeah, just solid. Nothing really to complain about. Self-invul, 2 attacks, 5 turns and a 5-turn cooldown, and defense up 20% for 3 turns. That's a very solid defensive skill. I love the fact that both effects are defensive as well. Good. Solid. Very good. And then the third skill, which kind of goes with the second skill a lot of the times as well. Self-taunt, 1 turn. Self-MP generation, 1 turn, 30%. I wish it was maybe a bit higher, but oh well. Or 3 turns to make looping a bit easier, because it's definitely not easy with him. And a 30% battery, you know, again, nice to have, I suppose. Overall, much like Ivan, his kit is basic, but it's good. It's still good. Magic C is okay. Riding A+, meanwhile, here it's really good. Yeah. More tickling. Archer bonus does not matter. Shout out to Kairon. The MP though, I'm actually gonna be real with you. I'm surprised Achilles has not been buffed yet at all. And whenever there's like buffs on anniversaries where they like show like strengthening campaigns where they show silhouettes and they tell there's like an SSR rider, I tend to guess Achilles to be on the buff list. Because he hasn't got a single buff yet. Not that he desperately needs one, but I'm still kind of baffled that he hasn't gotten any buffs yet. Because usually servants like him tend to get the buffs. The ones that don't necessarily need it, but could use one, right? So the MP itself is very basic. No other normal effects. Quick up before damage. 1 turn, 20% AoE damage. So there you go. That's Mr. Carrot. You think he would have more with his kit? You'd think he'd be more like Ozymandias, right? Because he's kind of legendary, but no. Still good though, for sure. And again, I think I would rate him as a DPS more than a farmer. One of the A's, but which one? Can I place him here? I don't think I can place... Can I place it? I'm not sure if I can place him in A+, honestly. Because even his farming is not that great. It's pretty okay-ish. I just want to place him in A, honestly. I think he could use a buff. Doesn't need one, but it would help a lot, so... Yeah. Also, again, Quick happens to be the worst card type right now, which doesn't help. Imagine if he was arts. Ooh, shit, dude. Yeah. Still a solid A. Good servant. Oh man, this might honestly divide some opinions, but here we go. Also, I have to try to be unbiased, but yeah, it is what it is. Reines. Support rider. Full-on support. Arts MP. Attack is actually higher than average. Doesn't really need it. If anything, you might prefer it to be a bit lower for more HP, but oh well. Double arch, double quick. You think she would have triple quick, as like most mainstream supports do that have a supporting MP, but she doesn't. But you know what? A lot of people don't realize her gains on average are still much better than, let's say, Merlin, Waver, Tamamo, Castoria. In fact, I firmly believe, unless I'm forgetting about someone, that her gains might just be the best of all mainstream supports, despite not even having a triple arch deck. It's really good, especially with the updated MP now. Her gains are kind of nuts. They're actually really nuts. So don't let the you know, absence of triple arts fool you. You forgot Scotty. I'm pretty sure Reines has better gains, but I haven't used Scotty's face cards that much, so you might be right. Stargen, it's okay, I guess. Skills, it's the waiver skill. So party defense up 3 turns, 25%. Nice chunk. That's a nice chunk of defense. Also damage cut, 400. That doesn't usually do that much though, but the defense up is nice. And the 10% AoE gauge. It's alright. Still alright to this day. Not bad. Second skill, targeted. 1 ally, 20% battery, 40% attack for 3 turns, and then herself gets 20% attack down for 3 turns, which really does not matter at all, let's be real. It would be a lot more annoying if it was for the target, but it's always for Reines herself, so that's like a pretty useless demerit in my opinion, that it doesn't really matter too much. Also a very okay skill. Not too bad. And then the third skill, which has been buffed. 1 ally, also targeted. 2 attack invul for 3 turns. Good protection. I like the target ability. Very flexible. Debuff res 3 turns. Sadly, only 30%. I wish this was like 50%. But oh well. It can make a difference though. In fact, if you saw my latest challenge quest video, in fact, I used this in the fact that someone actually did guard a debuff because of this. So even this can be enough. And then the buff adds a 20% battery. So now she can give 50% to someone, which is actually very cool. How about that? Overall, solid, supportive skill set. Very strong. Mostly defensive, but still has some offensive stuff here as well. Magic Res B is nice. Writing B, actually not bad at all. Territory Creation B, very nice with those double 4-hitter arts cards. And then the MP. Before this, after Scotty, she probably had the weakest support MP. But man, this buff though. Oh, this buff though. Oh, this buff though. Oh. So first of all enemies defense down that they basically can't resist for 3 turns, 30% base. Party gets class ignores class defense disadvantage. So if you're let's say your party is casters and you're fighting riders, you now take neutral damage. But obviously it's mostly used for Zergs if anything. Now, they added a second scaling normal effect. This is so rare. Party MP generation for 3 turns on a 30% base. That's nice. That's real nice. And they added another new normal effect. Like, remember Aussie buffs? Like, these are like modern MP buffs. They're ridiculous. Party overcharge 1 time. And it's not even like 1 turn. You don't have to do an MP chain immediately. It's 3 turns. So this is great for your Castorias and shit to get more special invul, etc. And she cleanses herself. And the OC is good too. AoE, crit chance down 3 turns, 20%. Like, wow, how much does 1 MP do, man? How much does 1 MP do? And if you're a massive simp like me, MP5 is just borderline broken at this point. But even at MP1, great. Now, again, people can maybe disagree with this, but as a challenge quest support, after the buffs. I placed her in A+, pretty sure, last year with the buff to the 3rd skill without the MP buff. There you go. There you go. She's just that good. She does so much alone. Like, she's gonna be great in like... And the one good thing is also that she's not tied to any card type, right? So you can basically slot her in to any challenge comp, right? It's kind of crazy how flexible she is as well. So, yeah. That might just be the best generic support for a challenge quest. So there you go. Reines. Call me biased if you want, but I stand by that, okay? That MP buff is nuts. Index for the 9-month-0. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Alright. This is a cool one. Da Vinci Rider. Da Vinci Lily, whatever you want to call her. AoE arts DPS, but most known for farming for sure. But also not terrible as a DPS, I suppose, but definitely shines the best in farm in my opinion. Attack a bit on the lower side, but nearing 11k is not bad. In fact, if anything, her only downside is that her damage is not amazingly high, but besides that, she works like... She's just like SSR Surf Mode, right? That's basically what she is. Anyway, double arts, double buster deck is perfectly fine. Gains are actually good, especially when the skill set is supporting it. Stargen, though, is pretty weak, but that's fine. Skills, debuff immune 3 turns, same as Maid. Cool to have if you're going against bosses. MP gauge per turn, 20%, so that's better than Maid. That's twice the number, because it scales this time. So you get 20% for every turn for 3 turns. That's good. And HP as well, 1k every turn for 3 turns. That is a solid skill for both farming and CQs. Second skill, evasion for 1 attack. At least it doesn't have a turn limit, like 1 attack, 1 turn. And also crit damage. So this is exactly the same skill that Summer Ishtar has, right? So again, it's just okay. It's okay at best. Not that great. Third skill, party MP damage 3 turns. Really good that it's 3 turns because again, really helps herself with the loops as well. 30%, not too bad at all. Party 10% gauge flat and party MP or overcharge 1 time. Sadly, it only lasts 1 turn. I wish it was one stage for 1 time / 3 turns, but okay, it's not bad. It's definitely nice to have because it actually helps her too because her OC is really good with that stuff. So yeah. Solid kit that, you know, works. Riding B, doesn't really matter. Territory creation C, really nice. Could be a higher number, but still nice to have. Unique passive, debuff resistance 20%, and I guess Stargen 20%. Not the biggest deal, but the debuff res is nice to have. Alter ego bonus doesn't really matter because you won't be using her against alter egos, let's be real. MP. Oh baby. So not only does it refund decent already, even despite being a 3-hitter, you also get a nice OC of arts up with 20% base 1 turn. More if you have the OC, which is also nice, helps with the loop, the damage. And then this normal effect is really good. Party 20% wow gauge, including herself. That is just so strong. One of the best normal effects in the game for sure. Oh my. And so she's so flexible, right? With CE choices, support choices, mystic codes, very easy to work with, right? But the only problem she has is that her damage might not be super high. But at least Castoria helps a lot with that, obviously. I think it's still good enough for me to probably place her here, honestly. It's not that lacking. Definitely not that lacking. Because you can actually run Black Grill as well, basically. Which obviously helps a lot with the biggest problem she has, so... There you go. One of the premier loopers in the game for arts, for sure. So there you go. Mostly in this day and age. Maybe not so much in NA right now. Maybe in NA she's here. But I feel like in this day and age, this is kind of where she belongs in. Alright, the latest writer of NA, although in, 3 days we're gonna have the next one. Europa. Okay. AoE, Buster, DPS. I guess you could farm with her too, I guess, but I feel like her kit definitely screams more against bosses, right? So I think Europa, I might place her more towards as a DPS than as a farmer, especially because there's many options that are probably better for farming. Attack is pretty high, not too bad. Double Buster, Double Arch, there it is again, the staple. Gains are also, you know, the usual. They're not bad, they're not great. They're alright, pretty good. That's a lot of words. Stargen, no, just no. Now, oh, it's the Marie skill, but I like this one more because the healing was very weak, and this one comes with 100% debuff resistance for 3 turns. Now, that is an EX tier defensive skill, if I've ever seen any. Just an absolute top tier defensive skill in the entire game. Great start. Really, really good. Second skill, one of these again. We already saw a bunch of these. Arts and Buster ups 3 turns, self 30%, 6 turn cooldown, and the one she has an MP battery for 30%. So like Dobrynya and Caenis, they all have like a different third effect, otherwise the same. Oh, did I say 3 turns? Oh, yeah. Oh, that was misspeaking. I obviously knew it was 3 attacks. 3 turns would be the most ridiculous skill in the entire game. Okay, maybe I misspoke. I apologize. But yeah, I knew it was 3 attacks. But maybe I said 3 turns. But just to clarify, definitely not 3 turns. But still insane at 3 hits. So yeah, with this she could loop, I suppose. But maybe not the best option. With this you could do it. But yeah, it's a good skill, I would say. It's the shoot-in skill, but better. 60% AoE chance to charm. It sadly doesn't scale, obviously. Defense down, 20% 3 turns, not bad. And crit chance down, 20% 3 turns. This is probably the best AoE charm in the game, though, right? Unless I'm forgetting something. Still not God tier or anything, but probably the best. It's alright. It's just sad if you miss like 3 60% or something. Then you're gonna be sad. And debuff resistance can make this even worse, sadly. Magic Receipt is fine. Riding A+ is pretty damn weak on her. More tickling. Ruler bonus doesn't matter. Her MP is very interesting. I like the fact that she gets bust. It's the same as like Martha, right? Or many others. Buster up 1 turn, 20% base before damage. But then she has like the George effect of having self-defense up 50% for 1 turn. And she doesn't even have like a taunt or anything. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I mean, I like the fact that there is another normal effect. It's only a good thing, right? But it's... I'm kind of... It must be a lore thing, right? Because I'm kind of confused about this being here. But it's nice to have, I guess. If she had a taunt, it would be better. Taunt would also work great with this skill. Honestly, Europa is fine, right? She's fine. You don't really hear too much people talking about her because she's not like crazy good or anything like that, but she's fine. She's fine. She's probably here, right? She's not as good as Yvonne in my opinion, but you know, I can probably place her in A. Yeah. Still good. And that's mostly me placing her as a DPS rather than a farmer. But again, if you really stan her, you can actually bust your loop. You can do it, but it's not the easiest thing to do. But yes, you can do it for those that care. There you go. You can pick her with the SSR ticket on NA, by the way. She's the last one you can. Next one, you cannot, even though he's permanent. Mr. Chest Window Odysseus. There he is. AoE Arts Looper / DPS. Actually does a pretty good job at both, from my personal experience. Not bad at all. Attack also pretty high, like that. Double arts, double quick deck makes sense with his skills as well. Gains are fine, not bad at all. Even Stargen is okay. So actually, yeah. Not bad, man, not bad. First skill, I really like this skill. So it's one of these again. Party, quick, and arts up. Not just self, party both up 20% for 3 turns. Not bad at all. And then I love this effect. This is so good for if you're bringing him as bosses. So the way this works is that 2 of your units get a taunt, not for 1 turn, but for 3 turns. And the one you target doesn't get taunt, so you can basically protect someone like crazy. like, if you're fighting casters, this is so good because you obviously want the casters to hit him anyway, and this makes it's a coin flip of him getting hit regardless. Oh man, great effect. I feel like this skill doesn't get enough recognition. It's actually really good against bosses. So good. It's a 3-turn double taunt. Wow, that's great. Second skill, 30% self battery and star absorb for 1 turn. Well, it's a 1000%, so he's gonna get every stars for that turn as a rider for sure. And then I guess, you know, charm immune for 5 turns. So it's 100% uptime for the charm immune, if it matters, which it probably won't matter too much. So this skill is, it's okay. I liked it that it's 5 turns instead of 6 turns. They probably could have made it 6 turns, but they chose to make it 5 turns, which I appreciate. So with that, it's still alright. Not bad. Third skill, invul, 1 turn, 5 turn cooldown, so already better than average, the average being 1 turn invul for 6 turns, so that's good. Also, love this combo whenever it's happening. Buff removal resistance with a skill like this, so his invul will basically stay guaranteed. And also, for a follow-up, you get a nice chunk of 30% defense for 3 turns, so super good defensive skill. Maybe not as good as the Europa one just now, but this is still a really good defensive skill, man. Yeah, he's pretty legit, huh? Magic Resist B, good. Riding B, B+, yeah, also pretty good. Despite his MP not even being quick, these are okay. And then, yeah, you cannot use Kirike's Pigify on him. And, you know, as an added bonus, 10% arts. Really nice. How about that? And the MP. First of all, MP damage, 1 turn, 30% before damage. And yes, he removes defensive buffs before damage. Yes, yes, yes. That's what we like to see. Not after damage, but before damage. So, man, you ain't blocking this MP easily. Ooh. I feel like a lot of... He doesn't get enough recognition. I think the only thing he kind of suffers in his damage isn't crazy good. But that's like it. He's like really damn solid. I use him at MP1 and he's still fine. He's definitely like A+, dude. Like, he deserves more recognition. Like, he's good. He's really good. No one ever talks about him. I don't know why. And he loops well too, in case you were wondering. It's pretty easy to loop with him. I loop QP with Castoria and Oberon. You don't even need double Castoria. I chose to go for more damage and still fine for the gains. So, yeah. Yeah, let's give him his helmet on an Ascension as well. Not just a skill animation. He's really good. He's almost like 1 buff away from being EX, I swear to God. They give him like a 1 serious nice buff. He's EX. He's solid. 2 more. There's a big gap between these 2, I feel like, in release though. Hey. It's your boy. Nemo. Single target arts DPS. Now, also has a lot of mechanics with water side like Caenis, but I feel like Nemo sadly suffers a bit more from the absence of water side than Caenis does, but let's see how he fares even without water side. Attack 11.4k, just above average, not too bad. Double buster, double arch stick I think is very nice for him. Gains are also fine, much like most of these SSR riders, nothing wrong with them. Stargen, it's okay as well, I suppose. Yeah, not too bad here. Then the skills. So, I guess we did have one more Voyager, but he has one that also has a conditional water side effect. So, it's a 3-turn attack buff, up to 20% for party, for water side or void space. So, yeah. If you do have this, it's good. If you don't, it's just the Voyager of the Storm, meaning it's pretty damn weak. But if you have this, it's actually not bad. Second skill, self-guts 1 time 5 turns on a 7-turn cooldown. Pretty standard, not bad, but at least this one has other effects, so it's pretty good. Self-battery 30%, and if your guts gets procced, it's the same duration, by the way, for this effect as well as the guts, which is good. You get up to 50% battery as well if you get procced, so similar to like King Hassan's buffed guts, I suppose. There you go. Definitely better than average guts for sure. Actually, not bad at all. Pretty good. Good skill. Third skill, party arts up 3 turns, 20%. Also, if you're water side or void, you get another 20%. So then it's ridiculous at 40%. It's really good on a 5-turn cooldown. And a 15-star bomb. It's still fine, even without this, the 20% with the 15-star bomb on 5-turn cooldown. It's fine. It just becomes really good if you're water side or void. So I kind of wish the first effect was himself only, though, instead of being party. Like, make it like 30%. 3 turns for self. And then maybe keep this on AoE. But it is what it is. Riding A+ is negligible. Divinity A+ or A is tickling. And then this is good. Crit damage on arts. And then, again, if you're on water side or void, you get a permanent 500 damage cut. We know, can help, but not the biggest thing ever. And then, if you think his MP was any different, no, it has the same mechanics too. So, this is alright though. MP damage 1 turn before damage sadly is scaling from 10% and upwards, because the better one at 20% is reserved for water side and void. Also ignore evasion and water side or void. And if the enemy, this at least works every time. So if the enemy is super large, big PP damage, but it's not like it's the most common trait. I agree, ISO. So yeah, keep in mind super large and large are also different. There's even a split between those two traits if it wasn't already rare enough. So yeah, like I feel like Nemo is like I almost said she, fucking hell. Okay, it's kind of correct saying she because there's female Nemos as well, but with the caster setup, like an art setup, they're still good. But it's just like, they get so much better if it's water side. Like in Caenis' case, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's nice to have, but I feel like in Nemo's case, you do see a bigger, you know, drop in performance if you don't get water side or void map. It's very noticeable. But even then, I have a feeling they should be like A, not assuming water side. They're still very fine. But I don't think I can even put them in A+. Just solid, right? But water side, probably EX, honestly. Just so much stuff in the kit with water side or void, so yeah. There you go. Not bad though. Nemo is solid. And then the latest one. This is one of the hardest ones for me to place as well, because I never even got him. I did roll for him. Mr. Taikoubou or Tai Gong Wang. No idea how to pronounce that. But in Japanese, it's Taikoubou, obviously. He's an interesting case. He's a really interesting servant. So, he's an AoE quick DPS / support. Attack is alright. Not bad. Similar to Nemo, I guess. Double quick, double arts. I think is fine for his kit. Not too bad. Gains are also good, as you would expect from basically all of these SSR riders. They're very solid. Stargin also actually not bad on him, I would say. He's not bad. First skill is cool. Party quick up, attack up, MP damage up, all 3 turns, 15% each. 7-turn cooldown though. For farming, the cooldown doesn't really matter too much, but for bosses it's slightly annoying. Because they're only 15%. I think this could have been easily like 6 turns, because they're like 15%. I like the trio effects though, it's nice, but maybe just slightly too high. But for farming, it's obviously kind of negligible, I suppose. Yeah, it should be 20% on 7-turn cooldown at least, I agree. Second skill. Now, here, okay, so it's an AoE skill set for 1 turn, which is interesting. Not the most useful thing ever, but I have to mention, there is a niche use for him as well, outside of the normal uses. You can run double Taikoubou with a Bazette to guarantee that Bazette farms properly. Because you obviously, to farm with Bazette, in case you didn't know, you need her to counterattack with the MP. And if the enemy does like a self-heal, you obviously cannot counter that, so they're gonna live, and it's gonna fuck up your 3-turn. But if you run double Taikoubou for the first 2 waves, you can actually AoE skill seal the enemies. And they will guaranteed attack Bazette no matter what. It's a cool little thing that I thought was worth mentioning, so yeah. And then also self-divine and demonic damage up 3 turns, 50% each. I like both of them are actually some of the more common traits, I would say. So it's an okay skill, I would say. And because, you know, this also helps Bazette, this one kind of helps as well, right? Self-battery, 30% and a 20% battery for the party. 50% total for himself. Not bad. Pretty good skill. So yeah, he can be a great Bazette support. But he can also farm himself too. And he can do bosses too. So when I think of Taikoubou, even before looking at his MP yet, he's like a jack of all trades, but master of none. But pretty good at a lot of stuff though, right? Yeah. Riding A+ is actually really damn nice on him. Then the MP. So again, more divine niche. So obviously if you're fighting divine, he's like a top tier DPS choice. Like, man, he's gonna clap. Actually clap. But then, what else does he have? Quick resistance down 3 turns, 20%. Again, would have been preferable before damage, but you know, it's still a fine OC, I would say. So there you go, that's the MP. AoE damage. He can actually loop. You can do it. But I have a feeling he might honestly just have a better, like, potential against bosses. He's just good in many places, right? He's just good in many places. A lot of chat is saying A+. I just agree. Like, he's a Bazette support, he's a looper, he's just a kind of a normal DPS on bosses. He can be supportive as well, just like, yeah. If they ever buff him, he's probably EX, honestly. So, yeah. He's solid. I kind of wish I had him. He seems really fun. I did use him during Tunguska though, when you get the option of having him as a story support. He's fun. There you go. Okay. Wow. You can. I mean, we're gonna maybe do some adjustments here, but Rider is a solid class, huh? Is he limited? No, he's actually permanent, which is great. I would love to be spooked by him. He's permanent. Love that. So yeah, before we finalize this, any changes we want to make? Stolf is worse than Marie. He's a worse farmer, worse CQ unit. He doesn't support a team unlike Marie. His skills are non-existent. His numbers are worse than hers. Stolf has good crit potential though, at least. And his MP is so much better than Marie's. So a lot of people are really mad with the Stolf placement anyway, huh? I would never place him below Marie, at least. But I can maybe come with an agreement of this. But I would never place him below Marie. That would be... that's just wrong. That would be wrong. But I can maybe agree on the same tier. For different reasons, but yeah. I have a feeling a lot of people would be angry about that. Otherwise. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Blackbeard on EX. Yeah. George at A+. It's tempting, honestly. But, like, even though he's, like, one of the best tanks of the low stars, I think there's only so far they can go with the low star numbers. Because, actually, health does matter quite a bit for a tank. So, I feel like there has to be a limit at how high he can be, right? So, I don't know. I'm tempted to put him in A+, though, honestly. I am really tempted to do it. I don't know, though. Anything else, though, meanwhile, I think about it. Ishtar Rider could be pushed to A+. The utility is kind of like Taikoubou. I kind of like her at A, honestly. Rider Alter is too harsh. Free MP, how does hit hard? Yeah, and that's the only reason she's at C instead of like D+. I already gave her a lot of points for the hard-hitting MP. Like, if the only thing you have is a hard-hitting MP, and the rest of your kit is so mediocre and your numbers suck, I can't give you even an average of C+, honestly. I'm sorry, it might seem a bit savage, but I feel like C is a good place for her. They haven't even buffed the Instinct yet, which is more insult to injury. Sakamoto to B. I like him in B+. If he wasn't a welfare, he would be B. But with a free MP5, I feel like B+ is fair. Ushi EX, come on. She's close for a 3-star, I have to say. But no, I can't do it. I would not feel right about that. I would not feel right. But hey, she's great. Don't get me wrong. She's great. Yeah, honestly, I think most of the I like this stuff mostly like this. Yeah. yeah, I think I might just lock in this, honestly. God, I swear to God, if YouTube has like a billion comments about stuff, I'm gonna punch a wall, dude. I can't put him below Marie, dude. I can't. I would feel dirty if I did that. I can't do it. I would bring Marie down as well. Is that what you guys want? She would come down with the ship. I can't put him below Marie. I can't do it. I fucking can't do it, dude. Can't do it. Can't do it. I might be willing to bump them down, but I can't place him below Marie. He's worse. He's way better for bosses, though. Are you high? Have you used him on bosses? What do you mean? Marie is not even that good against bosses. What do you mean? How is like Marie? Marie would never do as much damage as Stolf does. Are you crazy? Dude, you need to like do watch the video of me fighting, you know, a certain Olympus fight with Stolf. Yeah, and his MP is ridiculous with the 3 hit evade. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay. Here's the thing. This is fine. Are both of them B or are both of them B plus? I'm not gonna separate them though. Now, I'm not gonna separate. Which one is it? B plus or B for both? For both. I will not separate them. Okay, I will not separate them. B plus. Okay, we'll leave it at this then. Okay, there you go. Feel free to. Well, okay. Hopefully, not too many angry comments, but yeah, I'm just gonna stand with this. Okay. Yes. There you go. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. There you go. There's the list. This was a bit shorter, I suppose. Well, it makes sense because this had, you know, less servants than the others. Not that many, but a bit less. I'll leave a Georgian A. I'm still gonna leave it there. Yeah. I thought about it. But if someone wants to place Georgian A+, that's fine. So, again, shout out to everyone on the stream and on YouTube later who watched this entire thing. Kinda crazy. Shout out. Very nice of you guys. And even if you skipped around, I don't mind. I still like you guys as well. And yeah, next week it's gonna be magical stick people, right? That's gonna be an interesting one. Yeah. Lots of juicy ones there. And if you like this, obviously, again, just if you can, press the like button for me. It really helps out. Lets me know you like and keeps me motivated to do these lists every year as well. It's surprisingly a lot of work, honestly. So yeah, if possible. And subscribe for more. Don't miss out on the future tier list. We're not even halfway done yet. So yeah, hopefully weekly uploads for these. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.